Hello, everybody. We are just here before the show starts to let you know about something pretty exciting.
Very exciting. It is the Women in Podcasting Awards.
Whoa.
And I know we joke about awards all the time on this podcast, but this is not a joke. It is a real award that we are very excited about, but we need your help.
Yes. So we are nominated for the award. If you can vote for us, you can do so by clicking the link in the description or heading to totesrecall.com between August 1st and October 1st. You can go over there, vote for me and Molly, your favorite women in podcasting.
Yeah. You can be like, they pass the Bechdel Wallace all the time, even though they're not a movie and they're a podcast. You know what? They don't ask you details. All they want to do is for you to vote. And listen, I know these voting things can be, it takes a little effort. And we truly appreciate that you've been listening this long, and we would love your support.
Thank you so much. And now, time for the show.
This very special extra-sode or extra special episode or bonus episode, any of those, is all sponsored by a single individual.
Bone-sode.
Joe Jaquette. Joe Jaquette, thank you so much for your executive sponsorship. Without you, there is no way we would ever watch the movie that I will not reveal
Nice.
until the podcast begins. So, Joe Jaquette, thank you so much. And thank you, listeners. Stay tuned.
Totes Recall.
Oh, welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we don't remember very well. And then we pause the recording, eat 2 pizzas and 2 salads while watching the movie. Thank you, patrons. Come back for a second half of the podcast. In this half, we are again talking about the movie, but now we've just watched it. And we are thinking about how did it hold up in this year? What did we get right and wrong based on our first half bets? Is it good? Are we good?
Oh.
What's good anymore? My name's Dan.
This is Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie, this very special episode.
What's special about it?
It was executively produced.
Whoa, extra-sode.
And it's our longest movie ever.
Wow.
I'm sure. It's the Lord of the Rings episode
Colon?
1.
Is there a colon?
And to be clear, we're just watching the first one, right?
Theatrical release.
And, okay, it's not the director's.
I'm still saying the name of the movie. I'll start over. The Lord of the Rings.
Listen.
The Fellowship of the Rings.
I think it's a ring.
Just one
Episode
ring.
One ring.
1.
That's bet one
Theatrical
Yeah,
release.
them all.
The
I also
first
bet
one.
1 ring. There's only 1 ring
I think
to
it's
rule them
probably
all and
also
1 ring in the title.
Lord of the Ring and not the Lord of the Ring. It's a little puzzle. How many thes is the right?
Ooh, that is a little puzzle.
1, 2.
Lord of the Rings.
The
Is it
Fellowship?
the Fellowship?
I think it's
2.
just Fellowship of the Ring.
Really?
I'm betting the Fellowship
I
for
am too,
spice.
actually.
Oh, it's too many of those.
3 thes, I think.
Wow.
I have seen this movie.
I've also seen this
But
movie.
Just
theatrical's got a
me
the in it too.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, theatrical.
That's not like part of the title, though.
Think about it as a puzzle.
Think about it.
Hey, listeners, think about it.
Thunk
No.
about it.
Nope. So I'm sorry. We got through. I've seen the movie. Also, Dan's seen it.
Yes.
I have seen it.
I've seen the movie.
Wow. Okay. This is historic. And may I add, I'm a very recent watcher.
Oh, wow.
Because it was
Really?
going to drop off of a streaming service, and
I
I had
see.
never watched any of the trilogy.
Yeah.
But was tired of not getting crossword puzzle clues. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I watched them all like in 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
And to
Wow.
accomplish that, I just fast forwarded through most of the fight scenes,
Sure.
Wow.
which can
That's
really
most of the
save you
movie.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
So you just watch people walking?
Yeah, and talking. But then like all these memes started to make sense.
Oh,
there are
sure.
a lot of memes.
There are some great memes.
Yeah.
The
And in
memes
this
are
one,
strong
the
with this
trees
one.
don't get involved, right?
Trees is later.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
trees is later.
Got it. Okay.
That's the subtitle of the movie.
Yeah. Trees
Trees is later.
Trees is threes?
Trees is twos.
Trees is two.
I think trees is twos, but then trees are really threes. Like there's some real trees and trees, some real trees and threes.
Trees and threes.
But there's some trees in two.
Okay.
As well.
They commit treason.
Whoa.
Oh.
Kinda.
Sure. Depending on who you decide is the authoritative body of the land.
Authornative.
Okay. All right. Listen, if listeners are still there.
Plants have thorns.
Oh.
I saw this movie in theaters with my father, just my father, he
Nice.
and I. So it must have been the early 2000s.
Yes.
I want to say 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's 2001.
Oh, well, Beth is the smartest one of us. So,
So you better.
I mean,
Have I ever gotten a year right? I feel like no.
You must have at least a couple times.
Just on accident.
But I was overwhelmed with joy watching this movie.
Really?
I embraced my father fully
Yes.
as we exited the theater and said I loved that. I was probably like, I don't know, 19.
Was this a shared literary experience between you and your father?
No.
No? Interesting.
I had the books. My brother gave them to me for one gift-giving occasion. Who knows?
Sorry, I just need to real quick. Is this the same brother that sponsored this episode?
Oh!
Don't dox me, but yes.
Somebody loves Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, right? And yeah, as a...
And the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, thank you.
And his brother, maybe, hopefully.
We'll see.
And as a little nerdy boy who preferred fantasy over sci-fi, it felt like finally like this was our moment.
Right.
All these fucking nerds talking about Star Wars, like now we got our trilogy.
Right. All these pew pew pews and
dragons
explosions
and, rings
shit.
and spells and little goblins and shit.
elves.
Elves. Dwarves.
Others.
Orcs.
Trees.
Trees.
Ents. Are trees the
Trolls?
ents?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job,
Yeah.
Molly.
I tell you what, my crossword game
So
really
strong
went
now.
up.
Oh, that
for
is
sure.
such a
much
good
stronger.
crossword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
ENT.
wait, I actually missed it. So had you actually read the books before you watched the movies?
Yeah.
Or you just owned the books?
I think I read them before
Okay.
I watched the movies, and I thought the books were pretty boring. I fell asleep a lot reading them.
Not a boy.
But they're like so foundational to fantasy literature.
Like all Western fantasy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Dungeons and Dragons and all that shit is like comes back to Tolkien.
Tolkien.
That is so sweet, though, that you saw that with your dad and you gave him a hug at the end.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looked so cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
I believe I also saw this movie in theaters.
Wow.
I had read The Hobbit in 6th grade, and then, I'm pretty sure I went to go see this in the theater, and I really liked it the first time I saw it. And by the time I got to the third one, spoiler alert, I hate it.
Oh, wow.
Is that just because you got older? You
I don't know.
think, or-
Like, yeah, that's
You're
like kind of
a
like
hot teen by the time
I think I had to cool it.
a hot
by-
threen?
Yeah.
Oh.
A hot three. But that is, I mean, I did go from like probably like young junior high to like
Right.
high school
Oh,
by the
boy.
time that one came out. So it could have just been, I don't know. But part of it is in the third one, there are like 5 false endings.
Yes.
And by the end of the movie, I was so mad that it was still happening.
Yes.
I was like, I want
Fair.
this to be done. I just need it to be done.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Hot take. I think this is the best of the three.
Wow.
Oh.
I have genuine pleasant feelings about all of them, but I feel like as a movie, like as it's a movie on its own, I think this is the best, the strongest of the three.
Yeah. I think that is a hot take. I think
Yeah,
the Two Towers
sure.
is generally considered the best
That's
one.
the second one, right?
Yeah.
And then Return of the King.
Trees is threes.
Twos is towers. One's
One's is funds.
One's is fun.
Fellow
Fellowship.
one.
Well, because you get to really know the characters, right?
Yeah, you do.
And, some women talk.
Yeah, a
Not
woman.
necessarily to each
There's
other.
a woman.
Yeah,
There is
there's
a
Spooky
woman.
Elf.
It's Liv.
Oh no, there's two. Yeah, there's spooky elf and other elf.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler.
She's one of them.
She's other.
She's not the spooky
sexy
one though.
elf.
Yeah, she's sexy elf.
Got it. Oh, there's the ghost-like elf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't
Kate
okay.
Blanchett?
Yes.
Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, good friend of P. Jax.
What's his face?
Oh.
Elijah Wood
Yep.
plays the main hobbit.
Yes.
Frodo.
Whose name is Frodo. Okay.
Yes.
I kept on thinking Bilbo, but that's the uncle.
That's his uncle.
Who's in the Hobbit.
Yes.
The titular hobbit.
Okay.
Who's also in this movie.
Oh, and this starts in Hobbit world, right?
Yes.
In the Shire.
In the Shire. Yes, I knew that. I cannot tell you how
Fucking
many
Shire
times.
rules. As a 40-year-old dad, all I want to do is live in the Shire.
Right? Every house is just like a beautiful grassy hill with a garden.
You eat like 5 times a day and just like hang out with your pipe weed.
Hell yeah.
And cool fireworks, maybe?
Yes.
You know, okay, listen, some enterprising person, I suggest that the next senior living situation is entirely Hobbit themed.
Well,
People would be into that.
I think they would.
Listen, they've still got a bunch of the sets down in New Zealand. They could
That's
just
right.
repurpose them.
Yeah, I feel like
think
the
most of them were
humidity's
just
gonna be
backdrops.
crazy in there, though, right?
The what?
The humidity.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
it stays cool.
People who live in
people
people who've lived in like dirt yurts or whatever.
Dirt yurt.
Give us the humidity situation. But don't they put like don't they make like underground refrigerators and shit?
Yeah, they do.
I guess that's like an insulated sphere.
Yeah.
What is
my husband and I, don't dox me, also NBD. For a long time, our running joke is we did look into URLs, was to open a business that was called Just D's Yurts.
What?
Okay.
And it's just yurts.
Okay.
It's just D's Yurts.
D's Yurts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It works
Like
on so
just
many
desserts.
levels. Just desserts
Oh,
or just D's Yurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
D's nuts, right? It's
Yeah,
a
just D's Nuts
Okay.
Yurts.
D's Nuts Yurts.
D's nuts yurts.
But somebody already had the URL.
Really?
It just really took the wind
For
out of our
just D's
sails.
Yurts?
Yeah.
Someone had
All for-
just D's Yurts?
Yes.
You
Wow.
can do like justdsyurts.horse
Ooh, there you go.
or whatever.
Or like dot cigar or whatever.
Yeah.
.co. Well,
Is Frodo married? Samwise is married.
No.
None of them are married.
One of them has a lady.
He has a
Hobbit
he has a
friend.
crush.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got a big crush.
Am I thinking? I think I'm thinking of Willow.
Oh
Willow.
boy.
Yeah.
Because Willow is married
Yeah,
and
he's
has
got some
kids.
kids.
Yes, the
Yeah.
cutest
Oh, yeah.
kids in the
Okay.
world.
Responsibility.
did we see that on this show?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Oh my god. Okay.
Do we want to make bets? I feel like I know this movie maybe too well.
I mean, I read and loved these books as a child, so I had a similar experience to Dan, where when this came to theater, just like, fuck yeah, look at this, look, it's real, you know. Like my little childhood brain like melted a little bit.
I was probably a little older than y'all. So in 2001, I had joined the workforce.
2000, by the way, to spice it.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was nowhere on my radar.
No, how could it be?
I mean, just not
Did it even come
close.
to
What?
Beyond the Iron Curtain?
Okay. Newer listeners, I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, but I did spend 4 weeks in what was then Soviet Georgia.
What you
and is now the
perceive as 4
Republic of
weeks.
Yes.
What your brain's programming perceives
They're
as 4
pretty
weeks.
sure I'm a Manchurian
Yeah.
candidate. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Here's my bet
Yeah.
on what happens in this movie.
Okay.
It starts, I think, in the Shire.
Yeah.
Gandalf comes into town.
He
Okay.
sure
There's
does.
fireworks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does he have the ring? I don't remember how the ring gets into Frodo's
You
hands.
read The Hobbit.
I don't care
Oh
about
my
it.
God.
Oh, does Frodo find it? Is it in Bilby? Because his
Bilby.
Yes.
uncle,
Yeah, it's in Bilby's.
his uncle is sick, right? Or gone?
His uncle's been corrupted by the ring,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Unky Bilby.
After he steals it from Gollum.
Oh, and that's why
Steals it,
Gollum's
finds
so
it, Gollum has
upset.
to- yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say.
Finders keepers.
Kinda, especially in like the dark,
Yeah.
where they're just like some weird like fish eating gremlin who's just like, oh, I'm gonna kill you if you don't entertain me.
So does Gandalf take it from Bingo, or like?
No, Gandalf doesn't want it. There's a very compelling scene where he's like, no, I can't take it. And
Oh
storm
yeah,
clouds
Dan's
happen.
bad. Ian McKellen is gonna kick ass in this movie.
Rules. He's so good.
He's so good. He's gonna have the best beard in the history of cinema.
Yeah. And then later in life, I was so charmed to think about how Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart were best buds, and they were like Shakespearean actors, but also like in
Nerd
the
heroes?
best nerd
Yes.
properties alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're so cute.
they're so cute.
And then they set out and they decide that it has to be.
Frodo's got to throw it in Mount Doom.
Yeah.
In the heart of Mordor.
But you do not simply walk into.
There you go. Memes. You're getting it.
I got it.
You're getting memes.
This really revealed a lot for me.
Yeah, I'm sure
Every few minutes I was pausing it and screaming, hey, I got another one.
Yeah. Sean Bean in one of his famous movies where he dies.
Yes.
Spoiler
Spoiler alert. One of the most, maybe the most complex character in here. Do I want to say that?
Maybe.
That sounds like a bet.
Yeah, sure.
I like that. I like that bet.
I'm going to say no Bechdel Wallace, not even close.
Nah.
I don't think so.
Because I think somebody put together a video of every woman
right. I think they did, yeah.
who has a line in the 3 movies,
Yes.
and it's like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It might be at
Is it
least
3
over
minutes?
a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say I feel like
it's under
Kate
10 for
Blanchett
sure.
has like a monologue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's under 10 minutes for sure.
Yeah.
Is that in this one? See, this is the thing
Yep.
where I'm going to get confused is like, because it's a long story and
Right.
it's broken into thirds.
Yes.
So what happens in this one?
The Fellowship is assembled.
Yes.
We get, and you'll have my axe.
Frodo's friend
My
Sean
bow.
Astin joins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Samwise.
Hold on. I want Molly to list all the characters she's pretty sure in this movie
Yeah,
because I'm
please
having
say
a
their
great
names.
time.
Okay. Well, there's the guy from the meme.
Yeah.
The one you were just talking about?
You do not simply walk
Okay.
into
What is his name?
Sardor or whatever.
I've already
Frank.
said it a couple times.
Oh, shoot. I missed it.
Just-
Anyway.
Just
Okay,
go with it.
we'll
Roll
call
with
the guy
something.
from
Iliad.
Frank Ilian?
Frank Iliad.
Okay.
And then there's Liv Tyler's character
Yep.
who is an elf, and then she has a boyfriend elf or brother elf. I don't know. He's
What are their
blonde.
names, Molly?
Dudley Elfin. And
That's
then
Liv or that's her boyfriend
That's her-
brother?
that's her boyfriend.
Her brother friend is named Dudley Elfin?
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's Gandalf.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he's famous.
Yep.
And then there's like a bunch of people though.
There's like a famous human in
Yes.
Um,
it. He makes some promises.
Oh my God.
he's different than the Sardor guy.
I think so. If I know who the Sardor guy is that you're
Yeah.
talking about, I think he's very different.
Would you say Sardor is the other wizard?
He's not a wizard. I thought he was just a good swordsman or something.
Oh, okay. You
Oh,
are. Okay,
somebody's-
no, you're thinking of Sardor then. Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Vigo-
good with arrows. Is that the elf guy?
Yeah.
That-
What's his name?
Okay.
Is
and
that
then
who you think Dudley Elfin is? Or is that a different elf?
Dudley Elfin is the blonde that's good
Good with arrows. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. And Sardor is the guy with the sword?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
And then
There's a guy with an axe.
Mhm.
And my axe.
That's also a meme.
that's Axeman.
Okay.
He's like a troll or something.
Sure.
Axeman the troll.
Yeah.
And then there are giants appear, right? But they're not the good guys. They are the good guys.
There are giants appear.
Nope, never mind. And then
There's
there's
some larger creatures, sure,
there's
in
so
the
many-
movie.
There are 4 hobbits that
Yes.
are important.
Let's give them.
one is like the mayor, right? He's
Okay.
really grumpy
Okay.
because he's like, oh, why are we giving it to Fordor?
So for hobbits we have Fordor, Uncle Binky, Sean Astin.
Yes.
Okay. And there's 2 other hobbits.
Oh, but
Yeah.
when I said mayor, is that not one?
One of them's the mayor.
The
Yeah.
mayor. Okay.
Well, he's like in
Okay.
charge.
Sure. Who's the 4th hobbit then? Or 5th, I guess. We
There's
already named
a-
Uncle Binky.
Yeah. Well,
like
he's
a-
not in the fellowship.
Like
No.
a sales elf. I don't know.
Sales Elf
Sales
the
Elf.
Hobbit?
This
This rules. This is exactly how I hope this episode will go.
Yeah. I think that's the full fellowship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got, there's the big bad guy.
Yeah.
He's so bad.
So bad.
He's got an eye.
Yes.
Oh, the Eye of Sordor.
Wait, I thought you said Sordor was the sword human.
I don't know, but there's the Eye of Sondor. Sordor.
Okay,
It's
so
sorta
Sondor
right.
is the bad guy and Sordor is the good sword man?
Okay, so the sword man is the one who says one does not simply walk into
Okay.
Sordor.
That's
Sadarna.
that's guy from Mean
You
Frank.
gotta
Ilani.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's the guy.
you gotta scratch out like half your notes now.
yeah,
This
you can,
changes
so that's
everything.
Frank.
Okay.
That's Frank.
But I don't know his
Yeah.
real name.
There's sword guy he's a ranger
There's
and they
2
meet him in the
sword
tavern.
guys, and one of them is meme and one of them is other guy.
We
is he
saw
a
his
famous
dick in Eastern
actor?
Promises.
Yes. Well, you.
Dan and I.
I still haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
I know.
You gotta check it out.
I know.
It's great. Everybody's got to check it out. It's a great movie, aside from the nude sauna fight
Right.
scene.
Oh,
It's great. Aside from that,
Yeah, like even like that's great too.
Oh, I see.
Even
I
if
thought-
you took that out, the
It would
movie's
be a
good.
good. Okay.
I see.
Is that the right way to say that?
I think so.
Yeah.
In either case, you'll probably like this movie, even if you fast forward through the nude sauna.
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen. Yes, I know.
What's his
who
name
that
in the
is.
movie, though?
Yeah.
Vigamos.
Okay.
Vigamos.
Oh, that's good.
So Sardar.
Sardar is meme, or is
Is the
Sardar
eyeball? The
Sardar
eyeball?
is the eyeball
Oh,
guy.
okay.
He's the bad guy.
So Frank Lillian or whatever is the meme guy.
Yeah.
Vigamo.
Vigamos?
Yeah, Vigamos.
Vigamos is other sword guy.
Mortensen.
Vigamos Mortensen? No,
And then
this
we
is great.
have Gandalf's mentor,
Yes.
Oh.
played by Christopher Lee.
Hell yeah.
Oh, but he's bad.
Yes.
He does
very
turn
good.
bad, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Second best beard in cinema, maybe.
But he's
Really
like
good.
gray. Does he have gray in the name? He's like, because he's sort of
Someone
morally
does.
ambiguous. Gray beard.
Okay.
Is that a pirate?
Probably.
Probably.
Okay.
Gandalf the Grey.
Gandalf the Gray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is
So
that
we're-
Gandalf?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not.
We're still
okay.
looking for.
I can't
Something
remember
silver.
his name.
Somebody's a silver one.
That's the wizard? That's the other wizard?
Yeah, there's some silver. The
Okay.
lady's silver.
Okay.
Oh.
The other wizard's called the Lady Silver.
Yeah, no.
You're talking about Spooky Lady?
Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's silver.
Sure.
Is she called the Silver Lady or something?
Okay.
She is now.
There's a lot of color coding,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's another wizard.
The
that
other
has
wizard
the black wizard, the blue wizard,
Does have a color associated with him.
orange, white, gray,
Just pick
olive,
one. Pick one.
green, blue,
Pick one.
gray.
Great.
No, because Gandalf's the gray.
Okay.
White.
Great.
Because I think he wears white.
Okay.
Is that too simple?
No.
No, not for
Okay.
a fantasy novel written in like the 30s
Yeah.
or whatever.
Okay.
Absolutely
great.
not.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to guess a name for him?
A grumpy. I don't know. He's pretty mean.
Grumpy the White.
Grumpy
Yeah.
the White. Perfect. Gandalf the Grey, Grumpy the White. Checks out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the whole cast.
I think, yeah, you've pretty much nailed it.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, there's the Elf King who I can't remember his name either.
Sure.
But he's played by Agent Smith.
Hell yeah.
I
Oh,
was
so
just gonna say that. Agent Smith,
Yeah.
the Elf King.
This is a movie where it's sort of like Harry Potter, where like a bunch of recognizable non-American actors are in it, except in this case, it like also includes people from like Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah. Orlando Bloom is Dudley Elfin.
oh.
Yeah.
And when I saw this, I was like, this dude rocks.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, he's not that good. So I wonder how he'll be in this, but maybe he's perfect for like a.
Had
Hot-headed.
such a crush.
Yeah,
on him.
Everyone did.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Like this-
Okay.
this
but
plus
mine was
Pirate?
real.
Oh, okay. I just mean like,
Special.
but like when this movie came out, like every mildly genre interested girl of a certain age was just like, oh my God, Dudley Elfin. So hot.
That's right. And he's cool as shit too. He's like firing arrows
Yeah,
into
man.
orcs and then taking out his two swords, snickety snack.
Yeah. He's like the Wolverine of
Yeah.
Middle Earth.
Yeah. Is he half elf or is he just like down with humans?
I don't know.
Because the elves are like,
A little racist.
yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
I thought it was so funny that Hugo Weaving played two roles close to back of like hating humans. He's like,
But, like-
they're like parasites.
But
It's
he
like,
hates, I feel like he hates them in like a gentler way in this one.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
he uses more flowery language instead of like, they're a virus and I hate their smell.
Yeah.
Is Gollum played by Sherlock Holmes?
No.
No, this is like, we're like, oh shit. Now we know who Andy Serkis is.
Yeah.
He's Gollum.
This is where he became Mr.
Are you
Motion
talking
Capture.
about Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yes.
Yeah, that's in
Okay.
the other movies.
Which movie was that?
The
I just
Hobbit.
saw him on a green screen. Oh,
He's
it's still Hobbit?
Smaug.
Smaug.
Which is different.
It's a
The
dragon.
dragon.
Yeah.
Oh.
As a hobbit dragon. No Smaug in this.
No Smaug.
Well, okay.
But no, Andy Serkis, this is where he became Mr. Motion Capture.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's in this?
Ooh, I don't know.
Or is he, just get a hot moment
I
at
think
the
there's
end?
there's a quick little like,
It's like, my
because they like have to explain to people who aren't obsessed with the books like I was, like what the fuck is going on,
Yeah.
right? Because like the Hobbit, like the entire story of the Hobbit, or at least I guess not the entire story, like an eighth of the Hobbit is like the inciting incident for this entire trilogy.
Yeah.
So they have to like quick recap, like, oh hey, this happened with Uncle Binky. So
Yeah, we get that scene.
so
right?
there's
Don't we
definitely
get
you see him at least in the
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
for sure.
and he's so good.
So they have to explain who he is.
And it looks so cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Is
Or maybe it looks less cool now. I don't know.
Yeah.
CGI being where it's gone. Sorry.
The-
oh,
The CGI scene that I was like blown away as a kid was when I think Dudley Elfin jumps on the back of a troll and like stabs the troll in the head, and it like looks. I'd never seen anything like that in film, like where it's like seamless, like it's transition to CGI, and I bet now it's gonna be like, oh, that looks clunky as hell.
Yeah, I'll be curious about that because this movie was like downright impressive for 2000 whatever.
Yeah.
Fool of a toque.
After the Hobbit drops the thing down the bucket. I watched it like a bunch in college.
Okay.
And I have multiple times tried to get my child to watch this movie.
It's a tough sell, right?
Yeah, it's right up his alley. He's like, we're like playing D&D now. Right. He loves fantasy shit. And I'm like, let's watch Lord of the Rings. And he's bored by it.
I mean, is he your child? And he's like, it's how long?
I mean, that hasn't come up, but it is very long. Yeah.
I guess, I mean, the way it opens is like, especially if like knowing your kid and how like your version of D&D is like a bunch of monsters are like throwing themselves at each other. I can see how the opening of this movie could be a hard sell.
Yeah, we don't get to action till
a while.
Have you thought about just skipping to that?
Ooh.
I thought about it.
Listen, if there's ever a time for fast forwarding, it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
We are not fast forwarding this.
No.
Someone paid for us to watch this movie.
You can take a break in the middle.
Certainly.
Is this the one with the spider? Do they do any walking in this?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
I remember
there's one with a big spider. They get stuck in like.
I don't think it's the big
spider is way later.
They either go over the mountain or under the mountain. And the dwarves. Yeah, that's right. The dwarves dug too deep.
Yes.
And we get a monster. Molly, do you want to guess what the monster is? It's like a big demony monster.
Ooh, big red.
Nice.
Yep.
Yes. Wait.
You shall not pass.
You shall not pass.
This is memes.
And then there's like that little lava whip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then, is Gandalf dead? And I was like, he's got a sword and a staff?
Cool as shit.
Is he multi-classing? What's going on?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, but that's right, because Gandalf dies and you're super sad, but then he comes back.
Yep.
Yeah.
You are sad.
If I could ride a horse, two towers shit.
Yeah, that's twos.
Shadowfax.
That's right.
Yes.
Good job, Beth.
What's a Shadowfax?
This is where he
Name
talks
of
to
his
a
horse.
butterfly and then jumps on a big...
It's a moth.
Okay. This
It's
is
a
the,
moth.
This is the appropriate way
Dan.
to use that tone with me.
I love that.
Sorry,
I get away with
butterflies are
everything.
front of mind. Local reference.
my God.
Today, the Monarch Festival is happening in
I
Minneapolis.
get away with Big Red. And you can't do butterfly.
I should know
Because
better. I
that's
should know better.
yeah, because just from the way
It's called a double standard, Molly.
yeah, because you just watched this a couple years ago, and I've seen you watch movies in that period of time. I know how you retain movies. Dan watched this and had a touching moment with his father.
Yeah.
And in some way has some association enough with this pop cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
I've also seen the extended versions
As
of all
have
these
I.
movies, and how much longer are they?
Some of them are. I mean, this one, I've only seen them
30 to 40 more minutes?
This one
Okay.
especially is like way longer. The
Yeah.
first
Okay.
one, I think this one and the third one are like shockingly longer than the theatrical cuts. And then in the twos, it's just sort of like, and then we just throw in this other scene with some like gobbledygook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we're not watching the extended version.
No.
We're watching the original, tightly edited,
That's right.
probably 3-hour
I
version.
believe it is 2 hours and 52 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh my
baby.
Under 3.
There you go.
Yeah. They go through the mines. They find a troll. After maybe Sales Elf the Hobbit drops something down a well.
Sure.
Fool of a Sales Elf,
Yep.
Gandalf says to him.
Classic line.
Yeah. Drums in the deep.
Yeah.
This movie's cool.
There are so many orcs, right? Is this one orc
Yeah.
heavy? I mean, they're all orc heavy.
And orcs are bad guys.
Yeah, they're like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some, if you want to get into like grad school papers, there certainly could be argued some like potentially problematic subtext in the way this.
All of fantasy.
Yeah. Well,
Not
yeah.
all
All of Western, most of Western fantasy of a certain era. Yeah. Because it is just sort of like these beautiful milk white elves who are perfect and eternal. And then like
fighting these strong, tribal,
dark skinned like lizard men or whatever. Yeah. So you could
I
certainly.
shouldn't say all of fantasy. There's a lot of fantasy written
That is-
by not white people.
Yes. And even some white people that is like
Yeah.
trying desperately to get away from
It's
that.
a broad genre.
But some of this early stuff is just like, oh, yep. But if you ignore that and just think these prosthetics look cool as shit, it's a lot of
I
fun.
remember the orcs looking terrifying.
So cool.
They're like making them underground with like mud forges. It looks cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because Sardar.
No, Sardar was
No, Sardar was Swordman, but now Sardar's Sardar because we got Vigamos Vortensen.
But I thought Sardar was meme.
Oh,
or Sardar was the eye.
Sardar was eyeball. Excuse me. Grumpy the White.
Grumpy the White.
Grumpy the White starts churning out.
He's like
orcs.
Forest Hitler.
Yeah, but he's like turning goblins into orcs.
I don't know.
He's like creating. It's like some
it's fucked. It's
weird
like
eugenic stuff.
Yeah, it's like
made the
mud eugenics in the depths of the earth.
Yeah.
What's the deal? Like,
Is that the question?
Yeah, like, what is the eye? What is that?
Sardar.
Sardar
has.
I'm
gonna give the story of the rings.
I'm gonna give this movie credit in that it explains to you at the beginning.
So I'll learn what. I'll learn.
Does that happen even before the Shire? We get the
I don't remember
battle scene.
At some point, we see a sweaty Hugo Weaving yelling at a guy with a beard who's like, "Oh, perhaps I'll not do that because I'm man." And man, another lesson in these books is man sucks.
Yeah,
that's sort of like another piece of subtext of this movie.
There's like a metal guy in that scene, right?
Yes,
that's Sardar in
it is
corporeal form.
Yes. So that's like the eye is like what's left of him, basically.
Okay.
Because evil cannot be fully destroyed. You see.
Yeah.
Oh, unless thrown into.
Yeah, maybe it's unclear.
And then the eye can still see everything, and that's what makes it hard to sneak up on them and throw
especially when you put the ring on.
Yeah, because it's directly connected to the Sardar.
Because Fodor, at one point, he falls down in the tavern.
Oh, right.
That's a cool scene. And then he looks up and the ring finds its way onto his finger.
Yes, and suddenly reality has shifted and the eye is aware of him.
It's all spooky. And then we got here's another name you can guess at, Molly. There's a bunch of like skeletal horse evil people.
Like evil, like horse riding Muppet.
I suppose
men.
they are men, yeah. They got a specific name. You want to take a stab? You know what I'm talking about?
Shadow Riders.
Perfect.
It's a great name.
That is good.
That is for sure the name of a secondary villain in like 1,800 fantasy novels that have been made. For sure.
I can't think of what the name is. Obviously, it's Shadow Riders, but like that one scene sticks in my memory of like Fodor like putting the ring on and like they ride by and he's like hiding behind a tree. Is that in this one?
I think so.
Yeah. At the very beginning, when they like come to the Shire.
Yeah, that must
They're
be
real spooksters.
Yeah.
I love the way they designed them in this movie.
They're great. And then when he puts on the ring, then they can like see him better. And that's so creepy. When it's like that moment of like, oh, now we know where you are. And they can always know where you are.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, we'll probably talk about this more in the second half, but it's funny because like I didn't know who Peter Jackson was until these movies came out. But then I saw some of his like earlier stuff where it's all just like fucked up, weird like Muppet movies and stuff because he was just he made some like smaller productions and he's always been into like practical effects and goopy prosthetics.
Yeah,
but it is sort of like once you kind of see where he came, it's like, oh, that's why he's so good at like the spooky parts of this story.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's bet the scenery is going to be beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's going to be
Zealand, right?
sweeping vistas of New Zealand, and our hearts are going to swell while a beautiful score by Howard Shore plays as a helicopter, I assume, spins around while a bunch of actors walk over a meadow.
Yeah. This was also like blowing everybody's mind with making people look small or big.
Yes.
Like there was revolutionary camera shit.
The guy from Lost is in this.
Which guy?
Yep.
The musician.
He's maybe the mayor.
Oh.
Or Sales Elf the Hobbit. He's one of the hobbits.
Is he a hobbit?
Yeah.
Oh, he's like they're funny. The two that join later are funny, fun hobbits. They're not mayors. Okay, got you.
But that sales elf?
I don't know.
I guess so, right?
So Mayor Elf and Sales Elf are what I was thinking
They're
of,
the
but
funny
now
ones.
I know who they are.
They're the funny
They're
ones,
very funny.
They could be
They're
mayor.
best friends now, right?
They all are, I think.
Yeah, everybody's besties.
I think they're all still pretty cool with each other. They all got matching tattoos after this movie.
Okay.
That's cute.
Yeah. That's cute.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where this one ends. Probably things look dire.
Yes.
Are they entering
Mordor? I feel like it has to be right after.
There's way more walking for them to have already been that close to Mordor.
It has to be right after Gandalf
comes back.
Does he come back in this one? I think it comes back at the beginning of the second one.
This one has like hard Empire Strikes Back energy at the end, where it's just like everything's fucked.
Yeah.
Gandalf is dead. Meme guy is like
he's dead.
Oh no!
A lot of people die before the end of this movie.
Yeah, meme guy. Oh wait, what's his name?
Frankie, right?
This is Frank. Yeah, Frank Ilian.
Frankie Ilian.
Guy from name Frank Iliad.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Iliad?
Yeah.
Frank Iliad. Sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah, he has a whole arc of like,
it's great.
It is a gift. He's gonna steal a ring for himself.
Yeah.
But then he's like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna sacrifice myself.
Dan's bet. Sean Bean is also gonna crush it.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great.
Do you want to hear why Joe quit?
I would love to hear this.
Growing up, I had, and still have, a box set of The Lord of the Rings from 1978. As a boy, and through to adulthood, I loved the story and the epic journey. The animated Hobbit was a huge favorite of mine as well. I didn't know who the heck Peter Jackson was, but I recognized all these great actors jammed into a trailer for one of my favorite pieces of fantasy, so I got caught up in the hype. My local theater at the time had specific windows for ticket pre-ordering, but you could not reserve seats. So my friends and I showed up to this movie opening weekend 2+ hours ahead of time to wait in line with a bunch of other nerds.
Wow.
Many of them in full garb.
Yes.
Collectively had our minds blown by this movie.
I did that.
And then we did it each.
I wasn't in costume, but I stood in line with a bunch of full-blown nerds.
Yeah. And then we did it each Christmas time for the next 2 years.
Aww.
There have been few movie moments like this that I've gotten to experience, and it was amazing and awesome. It also sort of felt like it was okay to be a giant nerd out in the open about the time these films released.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes on to ask, and this is a good first half ask, what kind of epic movie watching experience do you have with this? Or if not this movie, did you have something similar with another film?
I mean, we already heard about how you embraced your father.
I embraced my father.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Which is a big deal in the Jaquette household.
Oh, absolutely.
Showing emotion.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, like my friends and I think had a similar experience to your brother where like we were just like, oh, hell yeah, let's go to like the midnight showing or whatever. And we just like stood in line with a bunch of people in like fucking elf costumes and shit, which is always very funny because we would always go to the theater at the Mall of America, local reference.
Yep.
And which was so delightful because you'd get there early enough so you'd like get a good seat, which meant you were there while the rest of the mall is still open. So you could like look. I think I talked about this in the Star Wars episodes too, where like you could look down into the food court and just see like fucking elves and shit. Just order Panda Express or whatever. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I do think this is kind of was a turn from nerds were fucking losers to like, oh, wait, they have money now.
This is definitely
like let's churn out some media, and it's like cool now.
This was definitely one of the turning points where, I mean. I think it started with the Star Wars prequels, because like they still made a shit ton of money despite everyone being like, eh.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This'll work.
Yeah.
And I'm sure someone had been trying to make these movies for decades. Anyways.
Yeah. I wonder if these would have happened without the prequels.
I don't know.
Because those were a little bit before, right?
I'm sure in a very long walking scene, Molly can learn about the absolute novel of a Wikipedia article this movie probably has.
Yeah.
I'll probably look it up during a battle if we're being totally honest.
There you
go. I think there's just something about going to see a movie. Like I'm very swayed by the crowd I'm with.
Totally.
Yeah.
So like I wouldn't describe Karate Kid 2 as like an incredible movie on its own, but I saw it in a theater where they were showing it for free. It was the old Columbia Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, and so it had it was just a single theater with an enormous screen. So it was like one of the last of its kind. I think it only hung on for like another 3 years. And they had opened it up to all the kids in the community. So all these kids it was all these kids who lived close by, me and my parents.
Nice.
Were the entire crowd. But I was like, it was right next door to where we were having
How old
breakfast.
are you at that point?
I was probably like preteen.
Okay.
Yeah, probably a tween, something like that. But I was like, there's a whole thing going on across the street. We just got to go across the street and sit down. My parents, I think, were literally the only adults in the entire audience.
Awesome.
It was great. Like the energy of the crowd was unbelievable. It was almost like seeing a live show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not in terms of, I mean, there were like interruptions or people saying stuff or like gasping when Ralph Macchio took off his shirt or, you know, any of that stuff. But it was like, I don't know, it was just such a shared experience in the way that live music is a shared experience and you rarely get in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't like the fulfillment of like, oh, I've always imagined this and I finally get to see it on film.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like these are movies. There was definitely, when you went to like one of the early showings, it was definitely like, there was definitely moments where like, yeah, when Dudley Elfin did something cool, like there would be like hoots and hollers of like, look at that cool elf doing cool shit.
For whatever Harry Potter came out,
Oh yeah.
my freshman year of college. Like at my college, all the freshmen got there a couple weeks before to like do orientation and bond. And then near the end, they like rented out the local theater and we all went and watched whatever Harry Potter was. And so it was like just us freshman college kids. And that was a similar experience of like everybody was so stoked to like be with new friends and this is fun. And then like the Quidditch matches felt like live sports events where people were like getting up and like, yeah, you got it. I remember that was a really, epic movie watching experience.
I definitely had it for Harry Potter. The same, like I went to all the midnight things and like with the books when they would come out too.
I read them in one day.
And now I have a complicated relationship with
Rowling.
Yeah. Well, that's not complicated. That's not a complicated relationship. She sucks. But I love the books, and I have a lot of memories tied to it. So that's what's complicated.
Totally.
Fair.
Great.
Yeah.
Molly, how should we rate this film?
For the listener, Molly is centering herself.
Yeah.
She's
like...
she may have her hand hovering over some sort of magic orb that we didn't talk about.
Ooh, moth orb.
What?
Wow, moth orb.
Yep.
Wow.
At first, all that was coming to my mind was moth butt, and that has nothing to do with anything we've discussed.
There is a moth butt in this movie, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Moth's got butts.
Moth's got butts. Trees and threes, moth's got butts.
Moth got back.
J.K. Rowling sucks. Those are the stances of this episode.
Yeah.
Moth orb.
Moth orb.
Mm-hmm. Which is also a character name.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
So this is a person. This is like an individual.
Yeah, they didn't make the cut for the movie, but they definitely exist in this world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about Moth Orb. Like where would you find Moth Orb?
Moth Orb is like hiding while all these fights are happening.
Okay.
Because they blend in, obviously, like a moth with a tree.
Yeah.
And so they're observing it all.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, they sneak out and like drop off a sandwich or something.
To who?
One of the people fighting.
Okay, so they're like Middle Earth's like
caterers.
Food delivery service. App-based food delivery service.
Yes.
They come in the moth orb.
Yep.
Okay.
I wanted to order. I mean, there's a lot of food that the hobbits want to get down. Like
that's true.
We see, after they're like, ooh, what about 11 and second breakfast? The fellowship moves on and there's a cut scene of moth orb showing up like, here's your steaks or whatever. They eat yams and
because they
mole meat.
Because Gandalf like showed them how to talk their words into a moth's butt to send a message.
That's right.
So then they can order delivery on the go with moth butts.
That's right. You speak it to the moth's butt.
And then it goes to Moth Orb.
Moth orb picks up your food or makes it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
is it a from scratch operation?
I mean, what? They've got a microwave in the forest?
Oh.
No, it's whatever they can forage and cook.
Oh, it's foraged.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Wild
like
food.
they boil.
So what? You can't even really order then. You just say like, me food, please.
Well,
and then you get what you get?
You get a couple options, but
Okay.
really they're just going to deliver whatever they've got.
Sure.
And you just
But
have to
could
accept
ask.
that.
Yeah.
Sure. Like, I guess you can ask, and what the worst you're going to get is something else.
Yeah, boiled moss.
But edible. It'll still be edible. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Is it always just boiled moss?
The
I mean,
moths are
that's the
employees,
base of
though.
a lot of the food.
Moss.
Moss.
Oh, moss.
Not
Yeah.
moss.
I said
that would
no.
be disgusting.
Yeah, that's why I was shocked.
Yeah, that is a shocking business model. Like, yeah, just send me a moth. Tell me your order, and then they just
boil it.
serve it back to
Their
you.
moth orb showing up late everywhere, like at the the entrance of the mines. What are those called? The mines of
Moria.
Mordor. Yeah, it's like
Moria.
not quite Mordor.
Yeah.
Like, come on. There's especially Sardar and Grumpy the White's names are actually too similar, and I was always like, come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Listen, he put most of his energy into the elf language. Everything else was like, I don't know, fucking Sardar.
Oh, elf language.
Frankie Elliott.
Yeah. Great. I love the scale. Thank you,
Terrific.
as always.
Moth orbs.
Moth
Or
orbs.
moth. Okay.
Moth orbs.
How many moth orbs?
So is there...
Is that one word?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So is moth orbed an individual person, or are there multiple moth orbs?
Oh,
Moth orbs
yeah.
the proprietor, or is that the position?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
But Moth Orbs has hired out because he can't feed.
So it's sort of like, it's almost like a franchise model.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Great. I love it.
Middle Earth.
Is it
Something.
gig based? Was I right that it's a gig?
Oh,
job?
gig-based economy.
Yeah.
So you can like
Yeah.
work for moth orbs to get
Yeah.
some scratch.
It's it's like a side hustle.
Totally.
But they do get health care.
That's nice.
Oh wow,
Mhm.
that's good.
That is good. Okay. Got it. Thank you for clarifying.
Sure.
Huh. Moth orbs. Me go first, as we all know, right?
Yep.
That's how we start this.
Dan, you're first, as we all know.
Thank you. I go first because I'm great or whatever. Like I said, I read these books as a child and adored them. I might have had the same box set as our executive producer because I don't remember what year those particular prints of those books were, but they're a very famous version of those books in terms of like their cover art.
I might also have that.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. I love these books. I was very excited with this movie. I remember enjoying this movie. I'm actually surprised at the level of optimism around this table. I thought we were going to come in here and there's just going to be grumps across the board.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be so mad about how long and probably incredibly corny this movie is going to be. But I think it is going to be incredibly long and corny, but also great at the same time. Beautiful fountains, Dudley Elfman. And I think it's going to be great. 4 moth orbs.
Great. Beth, you are second, as we all know.
Yes. Okay. This is difficult for me to decide because when I first saw it, I did like it. Now I'm at a place where I do not like these stories. But as we're talking about it, I was like, maybe it's kind of fun. I don't know. I'm going to say a hopeful 4.
Ooh.
We'll see.
I like that.
I'll either be like, oh, actually I was wrong, or actually this movie sucks.
You'll be like, fuck this movie. That's exciting.
See where I'm at in 3 hours.
What a teaser.
Yeah. My name is Dan, and I'm third.
Great.
The best time to go. Yeah.
Trees is threes, after all.
Trees is threes.
And you love trees,
I
am I right?
Love trees, so you are right. As is well known on this podcast, I want movies to be 90 minutes or shorter.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is double that. So that is tough. But this is, the ideal movie for me. Some fantasy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Monsters and magic.
Yeah. Beautiful old men.
Beautiful old men. Beautiful old Shakespearean actors. Smoking bike weed. So I loved it when I saw it, and I've enjoyed it every time. I don't think I've watched it and been like, oh, okay, it's a slog now. So I'm going to say 4, because I'm ready to say 5, but I don't want to set myself up for disappointment.
Big same.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. As we all know, I go fourth, and I'm not offended by that. I am concerned. Okay. I am concerned I will not enjoy this movie.
Speak on it.
Certainly because it was written in the 30s and the representation is so poor, so deeply flawed, which, okay. And also because I neither enjoy scenes where people are walking for long distances or in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
which
tough.
Really,
that's going to be tough for
and
you.
And to be totally honest, like when Dan was like, we have an executive producer and they want us to watch Lord of the Rings, which is 3 hours. I was like, oh, that sounds very far away. Sign me up. But now that it's like we're meeting a couple hours early and I'm just thinking about all the walking and talking and then the fighting, like I feel exhausted. But I want to like it, and I respect our listeners, as you know.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. So out of respect, instead of giving it a 2, I'll give it a 3.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Which is Biggins, Baggins.
Yep. Uncle Binky, Beal Bold.
Yeah, but it's not bold. Never mind. It's the opposite of that.
Sure.
So
I'm going to throw out a late bet, Molly, that if nothing else, I think you will be charmed at how fucking adorable Elijah Wood and Sean Astin are in this movie.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Just little babies.
Aww.
I mean, not
Cute
really.
babies.
Because I think Sean Astin's like significantly older than Elijah Wood. But
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't like Elijah Wood's hair in this.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
He's got like a curly mullet.
Wow. Big take.
Big hot take.
Yeah.
Wow,
But he's
okay.
still a cutie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with that, we're going to press pause, go watch The Lord of the Rings, the first one, and we'll be right back. Hey, listeners, it's Molly coming back at you at the midpoint, which is really the first third point. Wanted to remind you that if you had any interest, if you're like, wow, Joe Jaquette is so cool.
So cool.
So cool.
Like, how did he even think of sponsoring this movie?
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be cool if I sponsored a movie and then they read on air, like the reason I gave for picking it?
Yeah. Now we've set a terrible precedent.
Oh,
In
have
terms
we?
of length of movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we've said anything. I think Super Cool Joe.
Oh, sure. We've allowed him.
Yes.
Here's the thing. We appreciate you listeners, all of you listeners. And if you're at all interested in supporting the podcast, which at this point is pizza, salad, and paying for Beth's incredible editing skills, if you want to keep this podcast going, please do consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/totesrecall. And among the many choices, for as little as $1, you can join our Discord community, or as much as enough to sponsor
$1 million.
Yeah, actually,
$2 million.
Do we
Joe
have $1 million in there?
spent $1 million?
No, that's the most you can donate a month.
Is that true?
Oh.
Oh, did
I
we
think
do that
so.
for,
I didn't think there was an upper limit.
I mean, there
Mackenzie
isn't.
Scott?
That's the biggest prize we have is you get a Totes Recall branded orb
That's right.
That's right.
if you donate $1 million a
and
month.
there's a secret tier that's
What?
even higher.
Oh.
Try and figure it out by putting a lot of money in.
Oh.
Anyway, we appreciate all of you and hope you're enjoying this episode.
One of those tiers is to do what Joe's doing, if that wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One
Yeah.
of those tiers is
I don't
to
remember what the
become
number
an
is,
executive.
It's $25 a month.
There you go.
Wow.
What a deal.
That's cheap.
That is incredible.
And you can save a little money if you prepay.
Yeah. Wow.
So, what a hot deal.
If you're ever on the first of the month thinking, wow, I wish I had a Totes Recall extra episode right here.
Yeah. If you just stop drinking your avocado latte,
Yeah, exactly.
you have enough for an
Yeah, keep
episode.
your stop subscribing to TikTok Primo or whatever.
Get off your Substack.
Something else.
Yeah.
Okay, this mid-roll is almost as long as the movie. We
Sorry.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Back to the show. And we're back. We just watched 2 hours and 58 minutes of walking and fighting and dramatic monologues and real close friendship.
Yeah. Bros
Yep.
being bros.
Yeah, so hard. And that's what happened.
Great.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Those bros love each other.
They're so bros.
Such a
They're bros.
fellowship.
It's a fellowship. Have you ever seen a fellowship? That's what
It's
it is.
full of fellows.
Emphasis on the fellow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or cup runneth over with fellows.
Yeah. We win an award for being fellows.
Yeah.
What do we win awards for?
We win awards for,
We don't get shit for fellows.
the fellows on this podcast generally do not win awards.
No.
But what does is the segment that we like to call 60-second summary, in which we summarize the movie we just watched, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Yes.
For thus. In the title.
Even more those than we thought there might be.
Yeah, I thought I was joking when I added those. I was like, there's no way there's this many. Nope.
Only
It's
one more than there are hours of the movie.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's right. In 60 seconds exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
The tradition in Middle Earth is that I volunteer to do it.
Uh-huh.
So I volunteer
I
Myself.
accept.
as I
Fine
will
with me.
take the 60-second summary to Mount Doom.
Great. And my watch. All right. Hold on. Shit. Are you ready?
Yes. I can't do this alone.
You got me distracted. Okay. Go.
We open on a history lesson about Sauron, the eyeball man, and how he made a bunch of rings and tricked everybody, and then he had one ring that's way better than their rings. And so he got them all, but then the humans got the ring and then fucked up and didn't destroy it. Then the Shire, Gandalf's there, and he's coming to town, and Frodo's happy to see him. He makes a big party. Uncle Bilby is turning a 111 and disappears by using the magic ring. And
30 seconds.
Goes away. Shit. Then Frodo's got to take the ring. And trials and tribulations. The ringmates are after him. They make it to Elfland. Gandalf is there. And then they make a fellowship with a bunch of people. The fellowship tries to go over a mountain, but then it's got to go under the mountain. And Fool of a Took down the well. Orcs everywhere. Turns out the good wizard's bad. And then Frodo's
10 seconds.
Different elf ladies there, and Frodo they fight, and then Frodo and Samwise are bros, and Boromir dies, and they're in a boat, and Samwise almost drowns.
Time. Wow.
Very good.
That was like how I would have described the movie to my dad if it had come out at like the age I probably first read The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Like, good wizards, bad wizards. Frodo, there's another elf. She's a lady.
I just want to point out the fact that you did that in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So Peter Jackson,
How dare you?
maybe learn how to edit a movie.
How dare you? He did. The extended edition shows that he did edit the movie.
Yeah.
It
was a joke.
1,100 hours of
1,100 hours.
1,100 hours of footage that they got down to whatever it is.
What?
That's actually impressive.
I think that's right.
I mean, I'm sure a lot
I read
of
it on Wikipedia many minutes ago.
Wikipedia.org.
Why, you fool?
It's a website with stuff you can read when you're bored with the movies where people walk around. And Molly refuses to take even a basic interest in the lore of the Lord of the Rings.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, nice.
Wow, we spent at least $11,000 on that cut. I'm really glad. I'm really glad we decided to theme it out.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah. But you know me, I read Wikipedia and then I forget it immediately.
Right.
But it was a significant number of hours, and apparently sometimes the dailies would take 4 hours to watch.
Oh boy.
They just had so much footage. But if you think about it, like they shot over the course of like a year and a couple months or something.
Right.
Pretty continuously for all 3 movies, and then did pickup shots once a year. And then at first they were like, we're going to have one director to rule them all, and then, or not one editor to rule them all. And the editor was like, I can't do this. So they split it up amongst 3 editors. And then Peter Jackson was like, I can't do this. So that's part of the reason they had to pace out the movies the way they did. They couldn't at a certain point, you only have so many people. Kind of reminded me of that old construction thing. Like, it takes 9 months to have a baby, but you can't delegate that out. So 9 different people just carry a baby for a month. There's some timelines
The Mythical Man Hour. That's a book.
What's that?
Is it?
I think it's the Mythical Man Work Hour or something. It's about software engineering, I think.
Okay.
Basically, the idea you can't just throw more people at a problem to make it go faster.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it goes slower.
Well, if only Elrond had learned that about moving a ring to a mountain, right? Just throwing more people at it.
Yeah, it throws 9 fellows at it.
And they all have matching brooches.
Yeah, eventually, after they go to Spooky Lady Woods.
Is that where they get them?
Yeah.
Oh, she gives them the brooches?
I think so. Because weren't they not wearing them until they got to Spooky Lady Woods?
I didn't notice till after, but I thought they got them at the beginning in Rivendell.
I don't think so.
Right.
Well, it may not be the most important detail.
I mean, a lot of the movie
the only thing I missed from
between Elrond and the Lady of Woods, it was pretty dark for most of it, so we might not have noticed anyways. Because they were under the
Is he named Elrond like L. Ron Hubbard?
Elrond.
Oh.
Elrond.
Yes. Elrond.
Oh.
That's a good theory, though.
It is a good theory.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why Elrond decided to call himself Elrond. It's like, they'll lap it up. They're going to lap this up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure our listeners will be very surprised to hear that I did not get a single name right.
Well,
you got Gandalf.
Yeah, you got Gandalf.
Gandalf. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
And you got pretty close, I think. We can all agree. Let's go down the list.
Okay. Yeah. Guy from Meme, Frank Iliad.
Yep.
That's Boromir.
Boromir.
Yeah, basically the same. Mm-hmm. The Silver Lady.
Yep.
Lady in the Wood.
Okay. Oh, that is good.
Lady in there. Liv Tyler is an elf.
Yeah.
That's it? Yeah. We didn't have a name?
Yeah, I don't think you had a name.
Okay, nice.
Dudley Elfin. That's Legolas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Legolas.
An elf. You got
I mean, he has a Dudley energy about him.
Yeah, he does, though.
So
like
skin
Studley.
is so good.
Oh, Beth. Hell yeah.
Gandalf. Again, got it. Mm-hmm. Vigamos Mortensen.
Which I misremembered halfway the movie as Vigamos Vortex.
Oh, yeah. Aragorn.
Aragorn.
Yeah, there's one more R that I think there should be. I always think it's
That
Aragon.
you think there should be?
Yeah, I always think it's Aragon.
Wow,
But maybe
right.
that's a YA book about a dragon.
Yes, but it's spelled with an E.
Oh, okay.
Eragon. Eragon. They made a shitty movie about it when we were teens, I think.
Is that the name of the spider in Aragog?
What?
In that big spider in Harry Potter?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Argogarg or whatever.
Argogarg. That's it.
Argogarg.
I don't remember. Anyway.
I don't know. I picture like the problem is my memory is just of what's his name who played Hagrid saying it out loud, and he already has such a thick accent that
Yes.
like I have no fucking idea what the spider's name is.
Oh, right, because it's Hagrid's pet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
they're
Harry,
buddies.
it's Argogarg.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I remember now.
Sardor.
Yep.
Sardor.
Who was
Sauron.
Yes.
Sauron's eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, where do they go?
Who?
Mordor.
Mordor. Okay.
Which I fucking love so much. I can't get enough of
They
when
put
they
so
say-
much mustard.
I
on it.
love it. I mean, like, it's usually the old men who put the mustard on it because
Yeah.
they've been around. They know what the original
Yeah.
Can we
elfish.
talk about, I know we'll get back to these names at some point. Can we talk about the old man energy that Gandalf had?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
He gets progressively weary.
It's so fun. It's like
Yeah.
genuinely funny and also like sad because it's like it's funny until it's sad.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Did I get any other names exactly
Grumpy
right?
the White. It's just
Oh,
Saruman.
yeah.
The Wise.
Which
The
is-
Wise. I guess he wasn't white.
He might have also been the white though,
Yeah.
right? Because they all have colors, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because the Hobbits one's got a brown one, right?
Radagast.
Yeah.
We're not watching the second and third one
No.
that we know of.
Unless-
But just to refresh my memory, Gandalf comes back as Gandalf the White.
Yeah.
Oh.
So is that like a promotion?
I think so, because I feel like Saruman was like the whites because he was the leader guy or the most
Yeah.
like revered of the wizards, and I think
Yeah.
Gandalf like took it because the space rules, like the gods or whatever. It's like, oh, he sucks now, so you're
Yeah.
the white or something. I don't know. Read a book.
But it's like a karate belt color.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Maybe, or it's
Maybe.
just like what they're. I don't know, masters
What
of
league?
the maybe it's like the house in Harry Potter. I have no idea.
It's like your AAA.
Here's the thing. I don't even remember how many wizards there are.
Yeah. And you know, I love Gandalf, but dude doesn't cast a ton of spells.
No.
What is he even doing?
That's what I'm like. Is he like an ensign? Like, what is his, his ranking among wizards?
Yeah.
Maybe what happened is that he got so worn out having a wizard fight with his professional dad and then had to sit on top of a tower for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And like, it's just like, it takes like years for wizards to like charge back up
Yeah.
or something.
He hasn't
Maybe.
really probably got to rest. He's probably riding that eagle and then walking around.
Can we talk about the eagle
Also,
and the
he's
moth?
probably just, you know what it is. You know why he's not using that magic.
Why?
Just like his old boss told him. It's like he's getting too high on that wacky weed from the Shire.
Oh,
That was a line I did not remember from the movie, and I was delighted by it.
I guess that's what I mean by it, is that he just seems like he's like, yeah, I'm a wizard. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
In my memory, he was such a like kind of wise, like all-knowing character, and he's not really in this movie. Maybe he comes back more that way.
Definitely comes back. I think it might also be part of it is that like he might be in like the wizard equivalent of retirement, right?
Oh,
because it is just sort of like I'm just chilling out, and then suddenly he's just like, oh fuck, that ring from 3,000 years ago is
Yeah.
still around. Oh shit.
Yeah, because he just wanted to like set up some fireworks and party with the Hobbit.
Yeah, like that is like think about that. Like his plan is like one planet that we know of was to just like go back to the Shire and just get fucked up on pipe weed with his old friend Bilbo
he does have
while he shoots off cool fireworks.
he has the energy of a police officer who's one day away from
Yeah.
retirement.
I'm too
Or
old
like-
for this.
Or he's like the entire Shire's like cool uncle that just comes by every once in a while.
Yeah. Or like a burnt out hippie who like did a bunch of protesting, but now just like
Yeah, exactly.
just like wants to chill.
Right, which is, you know, like if you read The Hobbit, that's a lot of what he's in The Hobbit. He's just kind of like, oh shit, we got to take care of this crazy dragon and all this garbage. And then like, oh, there's something in the east. I got to go talk to the wizard council or whatever. And now he's just like, oh man.
His wariness was
It's so good.
hilarious.
Because it
was
does
so
start,
sweet.
yeah. Because at the beginning he's just like this sweet old man, and he just seems like he's got a twinkle in his eye, and then as soon as they get up that mountain, And Saruman is like,
oh yeah, as soon as somebody changes the plan, right?
as
so
soon
the
as he has
last
to
thing he
turn
wants
around
to do,
and change direction.
yeah,
he doesn't want to
like,
ask for directions.
No,
he doesn't
he's
want to
like,
pull over and
let's
ask for
climb
directions.
this mountain.
I made a plan.
Yeah.
And then when it got hard, he was like, well, we'll ask the ring bearer.
Right.
I think expecting the ring bearer would be like, I'm going to go with Gramps on
his
this
back.
one.
Yeah, because he
and
usually
instead
does.
he's like, oh, let's go to the mines. And then once that happens,
he's
just like,
yeah.
just gentle rage, I guess would be, or just like, he's just so put out by the
So
whole
wearied
thing.
by it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing.
Actually, I'm just like thinking like him sitting, looking away from everyone on that rock
Yes.
is like when your dad takes the wrong exit on a road.
He's like, I just need a minute. Everybody be quiet.
And you just realize like we've been going the wrong way for an hour.
Yeah.
And he just like pulls over for a second and just like, Dad, just
Just let him
just
sit.
give me a minute.
We should go. Everybody get out of the car and we'll just walk around for a minute.
Yeah, like there's that amazing moment where I mean we're jumping all over the place, but like that is sort of like the start, the moment that it turns into like that is just his energy for the rest of the movie until he tragically dies and it's terrible.
Yeah.
Where they get to that magic door, right? And he's
Yes.
just like, oh yeah, it's he like wizard explains it to everyone. It's just like, oh yeah, it's just you just speak friend and enter, and then he just like says the password, and then it just cuts to them just like him like quietly still muttering like magic words, and then he finally just like throws his staff down and kind of takes his hat off in a huff.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah. He's great.
I mean, he was probably, you know, at that point he's probably fixing for a toque.
That's right. He hasn't had any of that Hobbit read.
That honestly killed me because I did not remember that line. When he first goes to talk to Saruman to like get mentorship from his mentor, like Saruman is basically like admonishing, just like, you're smoking too much weed, man. Like he says something to that effect, except in
like that
cool-
Hobbit leaf.
Yeah, he says it in like a cool, like classically trained actor wizard way where he's just like, oh yes, your mind is too clouded by that Hobbit leaf to realize the dire blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Amazing.
and all of these actors are classically trained British actors
yes.
who went to like the Royal Academy, and it makes
Amazing.
sense
Absolutely.
because they have to deliver lines
That are madness.
that are so silly if you don't have that gravitas,
Mm-hmm.
and they just pull it off.
They do. Everybody delivers. And the amount of times we zoom in very close to Ian McKellen's face
Yes.
and he gives us like 8 emotions
Oh
in a
my
row
God.
is incredible. He's so good.
He's really good.
So like he had so much fake hair on.
Yeah.
A prosthetic nose. Like he's doing so much.
Yeah.
With this like pound of shit on his face.
Yeah.
It is amazing to like you can read what he's thinking
Yeah.
on his face.
So
He's not
cool.
even saying like how amazing is
So
that?
cool.
Yeah.
And it's still subtle, which I appreciate.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes you can read people's faces.
Yeah, they're
but
like,
it's
"Ah."
Yeah, he does. There's this moment, the moment that like is like the chef's kiss of that is when they're at the council or whatever, and then it's like slowly turning into like maybe the beginning of a race war or something where like they're all like, never trust an elf, blah, blah, and they're all screaming over each other, and Gandalf is like getting pissed, and like there's like the montage of just like him like literally just like pointing emphatically while yelling at Boromir.
Yeah, they're all about to start like bumping chests
Yeah.
against each other. Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, and then
bro.
like Frodo like says like I'll do it, and like as soon as Gandalf hears it, they again get very close to his face, and his heart breaks, like his face falls, and it's amazing.
But he also knows like that's what has to happen.
Yes.
It's like that's the solution, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And like
Ugh.
you see it all in just a moment.
And then he turns around, and he's like, "I will help you, dear Frodo," and he's suddenly the joyful grandpa again.
Yeah.
Incredible. What a gift to
Oh,
have
wizard.
Sir Ian on this movie.
I know.
Really.
Right?
Good Lord. I mean, there are certainly some other wonderful actors. in this
Everybody did a
movie.
great job.
Everybody did a great job.
Sheen Bean.
Sheen Bean.
Which
Talk about.
originally spelled Sean, S-H-A-W-N.
I think that was a guild issue.
I don't know, but he switched to S-E-A-N.
More catchy to have it not rhyme.
Scene Bean.
It's
But
like
look,
a visual version
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
rhyming,
Right.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
He's great too. I bet the one bet I made was he'd be the most complex character. I feel like I 100% Utah.
I think even validated.
Yeah.
Is that the word I'm looking for?
He's got a whole arc. He's like, we're up in the north protecting all your asses from the orcs that are coming out all
Yeah,
the time.
Like literally like this flaming tower of evil right across our yard.
Yeah.
While you guys sit here in your magic elf kingdom smoking pipe weed.
Yeah. And like, we don't have a king. My dad's just the steward, and he's like
old
trying his
and, like,
best, but he's falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just want to protect the white city. Again, a lot of good white things.
Sure. But I mean, that's Western folklore for the last
I wish we had just paused and you had said those words during the movie.
Would that have helped?
I know it's my fault for not paying attention. Oh, yeah. But there was a lot I didn't get that I just got because you explained
there were multiple moments in the
I'm
viewing
happy
of
to
this
explain
movie.
things to you anytime.
There are multiple moments in this movie where, like, I think what it was is, I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, I have to, like, think back on the pattern. I think the pattern usually, Molly, was, like, there would be, like, a sudden music cue. So, like, your brain was trained to, like, oh, I should be paying attention. And you'd be like, wait, what? What is happening?
Yeah.
And then you'd always miss a first couple seconds. Yeah. So you'd, like, just take a stab at it. You're like, why are the orcs killing each other? Like, no, they're just painting each other's faces and like getting new helmets.
Like, jacked for war.
But I mean, to be fair, like if a jacked dude puts his jacked hands on another Muppet, you probably assume he's gonna like crush his skull.
Yeah. I gotta say, this is the first time that I've seen this movie a few times. The first time I actually think that I understood what was happening.
Nice.
Because there's so many made up words and characters
absolutely.
that it is hard to track what they're talking about.
Especially because like the main, as long as you understand, like it's, it's the movie's designed this way where it's like, as long as you understand like ring bad, ring go here.
Yeah, I got that
you're
part.
fine. Like you are fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of just conversations that are just like, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Well, this was the first time I'm not going to be able to remember her name. The Liv Tyler's character. Arwen. I said this during the movie, but when I was younger and up until now, and up until like this watching, I didn't realize like they knew each other ahead of time.
You thought they were just like down
I
to
thought
flock
they were just
hard.
Were like, it was like, I guess like, girl and boy like each other.
Right. And she gives away her mortality.
Yeah.
Girl,
I mean, that's intense.
On. Yeah, her immortality, sorry.
Yeah.
That was like, I mean, we know what's going on there, right?
Punches her M card.
What?
Oh, boy.
Mortality.
No,
oh my God.
No. Absolutely not. Nope. Okay.
Up top.
No, don't you dare.
No.
Don't you dare.
Like that.
It's literally not happening. Wow.
You guys.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah.
Did Dan, of course 100% you jump, but did Dan miss anything like truly important in a 60-second summary? I guess the relationships are kind of more complicated, like we said, but.
No, I was going to say, I know it's like trite, but I do wish that when people started to turn evil, that they would just cut to the ring a little earlier. Because every single time I was like, oh, they're bad. You know what I mean?
Like, you didn't know the ring was making them bad?
I was like Charlie Brown with that football. I'd be like, okay, Kate Blanchett's good.
Yeah.
She's like real wise. Oh no, why is she so mean?
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't get mean until he presents the ring to her.
He willingly offers it to her.
You might have just not been watching.
Yeah.
This is my second time through, so I'm pretty sure I was watching.
Boromir's is more subtle, for sure.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
He's so good in that.
The last,
he's like so filled with regret.
Sean
that
Bean's, every time they cut to Sean Bean in the last like 30 minutes of this movie is so good. Like he's just like the second Kate Blanchett like drills in her with her psychic elf eyes. Like for the rest of the movie, he's a mess.
He's wrecked.
It's rocks.
Yeah. He sees the White Tower of Flame or whatever.
Mm. And then he does that fucking thing where he's like, he has like the creepy encounter with Frodo in the woods. Just like, oh, you shouldn't be out here alone. Look, I'm just collecting firewood. Everything's fine. And then it just like slowly gets like more and more intense until he's finally like basically tackling him to the ground and like just essentially trying to like rip the ring off of his neck thing or whatever. And then as soon as he disappears, it's like a full on like condensed like abusive couple arc, right? Where it's like as soon as Frodo like gets out of there, he's like suddenly crying. He's like, "Oh my God, come back! I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
Holy shit!
He's so good.
He's so good.
Yeah, and then he's like gets shot with a bunch of arrows.
Like too many arrows.
By hand.
Takes way too much time.
Head.
But every time he gets back up to protect the halflings because he's
and
ultimately
the halflings don't do a thing.
Okay, let's talk about the Ding Dong Twins.
Yeah. Marioc something took.
One's a took for sure.
Peregrine Took. Mariodoc Brandy
Buck.
Someone is screaming at us right now.
Yeah.
Someone listening to this. Maybe the producer is shrieking at us.
The producer's honking away.
Yeah. Pippin and Merry.
Yeah.
are goofs. And we know that because the first time we meet them, they are trying to get the coolest firework out of the tent. Like they are basically just like they're like Frodo's like goofy younger brothers, right? Yeah. And which they're not. They're, as one of them explains in the bar when he's supposed to be undercover. It's like, oh yeah, he's my second cousin through third, blah, 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 blah. Because he discovered beer, or he discovered larger volumes of beer. And that changed his entire world.
Pint-sized ale.
It comes in pints. I like that line.
That's a great line.
That's good.
But yeah, so you learn already that they're like goofballs. And they were never meant to come.
No. They just got bumped into because they were stealing cabbages.
They were in a different movie. Like they were in like a buddy comedy, like a heist movie where they're just stealing vegetables from old man whatever.
Yeah, they're like in a Peter Rabbit story.
Yes. And they just happen to accidentally run into like the two best friends who have to go to hell or whatever to save the world.
Are Frodo and Samwise best friends before this happens?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure in the extended edition, there's like a whole 20-minute section about them like reminiscing about their childhood or whatever.
I kind of remember them being closer, but then when we watched it this time, I was like, oh, they just kind of hang around each other beforehand. And then Samwise is like spying on him.
I think in this one, like you're supposed to get all that from like the one scene where Frodo's just like, just go talk to her, dude.
Yeah, they're bros.
Yeah, they're bros. And then we learn by the end they are the best of bros.
Oh my gosh. I do remember the first time I watched this movie, that scene where Samwise goes into the water to try to follow Frodo on the boat. That really wrecked me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his line is so good where Frodo's like, I'm going alone. And Samwise is like, I know, and I'm coming with you. I know you are, and I'm coming with you. It's just... they're
and
just
he said
good bros.
he made a promise to Gandalf that he would not let him out of his sight.
Grumpy grandpa.
Wow.
Yeah, Sean Astin is so good at playing this just like good heart. He is like a golden retriever of a young man who's just like so loyal to Frodo and like just wants to do good and is terrified of everything new, but also like is so, so close to these people.
Driven by loyalty.
Yes.
That he's willing to literally walk through the flames of death. Yeah.
Best bro.
Best bro.
Best bros.
It was pretty good. I liked that part. I had forgotten. So apparently Peter Jackson, his main thought going into this trilogy was he wanted to be more like Braveheart and less like Willow.
Okay.
Because to that point, like Willow was just sort of hodgepodge of this seems fantasy.
Yeah.
And he wanted to root it in more of like a Braveheart historical fiction. Mm-hmm. This is serious and real.
Yeah.
Which I think he achieved. But also like... I had just forgotten how many layers of bro love there are.
Right.
Yeah.
That last half hour or so is just all the hits.
Yeah. It's just, like fucking Sean Bond's Scene Beans, like death monologue where he's like, where Viggo Vortex like says like, I will go to Gondor, I will be your king. And like, he says,
my brother,
my captain, my king. And he has he's like the most happy he's been in the entire movie.
Because he knows his home is going to be safe.
Because the heir of Isildur will return and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and he died with honor. Aragorn.
With his little sword.
Yeah.
Fuck, Sean Bean is so good.
It really is.
And then Axeman the Troll and Dudley Elfman, Ghibli. They're all we're all at the end of the movie, but they're like, oh, the hobbits are gone. I guess the fellowship's over.
We suck.
But then Strider.
Yes.
Dirty Hot, as we were calling it during the movie. It's like, no, we're still in. Now we're 3 bros, and we got to save our other 2 bros. So we got to get the Ding Dong Twins back.
Yep. And then the dwarf is like, hell yeah.
Like, back in.
Yeah, they're in. By the power of bro.
Yeah.
I kept on thinking while I was watching this, because we were talking about Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
I was like, is this Star Trek? And then I was like, because Gimli has such like Klingon energy.
Yeah, sure.
And then I was like, I was trying to think of what the parallels.
The parallels? Yeah.
Elves are Vulcans.
Yeah.
They're like very emotionless.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
And they pointy ears also.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that Pip and Mary were kind of like the with the twins in Harry Potter.
Which twins?
Oh, the Weasleys?
The Weasleys.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I just looked at you so blankly, and I'm like, which ones?
Oh, real quick,
There's a couple
while we're talking about Sam's relationship with Frodo, Dan, I wrote this down because as soon as Sam got kind of accidentally thrown into this like journey to hell because he was eavesdropping on Gandalf's conversation with Frodo. Dan, when they were leaving the Shire, Dan just said out loud, "Poor Sam, he was just trying to get some, and now he's got to walk to Mount Doom."
Yeah, he was just like Rosie was someone to dance with. Everybody was nervous.
But they end up married at the end, right?
I think so.
I think they do.
It seems like one of the endings of that thing.
Yeah, one of the 8 endings. I think he sticks with
They've
Rosie.
got like little kids or something.
Well,
yeah,
he
it's
gets,
like a very domestic.
he gets abandoned by his best bro. It's very sad.
Oh,
because he has to go to elf heaven or whatever.
What?
Wait, what?
Who
At the end of the third one?
Yes.
What?
Frodo goes to the west because he gained enough elf points by saving the world or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't remember that. I can never remember if he falls in the volcano
because it
or
becomes the age of men, and so all the cool magical people have to go.
Oh. Then why?
The hobbits get to stay.
Why do the
Because
hobbits?
they're just like weird little guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Live in their truth.
They're not like magic. They're just like chill.
So wait, so the trolls go too?
No.
Dwarves.
No.
Sorry, dwarves. The dwarves go too?
It's just the elves. The elves are essentially like weird. They're like weird, like demigod angels that have like blessed this earth for so long. And the wizards are like, I don't know, the other ones.
Okay.
And then they're all just like, we got to get out of here. I don't know. It's the way it's presented in the movie, especially, like, it is kind of funny because it seems so arbitrary because when Elrond and Gandalf are talking, he's just like, the age of elves is coming in. It's like, just say it isn't. Like, what are you doing? There's a giant evil tower over there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I always thought like, oh, they're at the end of their lifespan.
Maybe.
But
it is.
I think I made that up.
I don't know. Like, I feel like it is essentially like an analogy for like going to the afterlife.
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed to come back from the west, the islands in the west or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Liv Tyler's character has like way longer on Earth, right? She has eternal.
Not if she gives up her M card for Vigo Vortex.
That's right.
See, that she's Deanna Troy.
Okay.
He's Riker.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
He strides over some chairs.
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Speaking of bearded men, it was very funny because like the first scene we meet Boromir, besides just like the montage of like all the characters you're about to meet now that we're in the second half of the movie. When they get to Rivendell, it is very funny where it's like the first scene is just like he goes into like the Museum of Sword or whatever. And Aragorn is just like looking
Sexily reading a book.
Sexily reading a book in the shadows.
He is like leaning hard.
It is that Jeff Goldblum.
It is Jurassic Park moment. Yeah.
Woo.
And like I honestly think part of it is because like it first establishes that like, you know, like this sword that's supposed to bring back the kings of Gondor is garbage because he doesn't believe in it, which is then his arc at the end. It's a beautiful moment of bros. But I think honestly part of it was also someone on the team, like an editor or whatever. It's like, Peter, no one's gonna realize these are two actors at first. Like they both have long, dirty hair and beards, and they're all wearing basically the same outfit.
Yep.
Yeah.
They both have swords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both gorgeous. Like it honestly felt like they had to have that scene like where the first time Boromir talks, he has to talk to the other bearded guy. Just so everyone in the audience
Two guys.
are like, there's two guys. Okay.
I did have a moment. I was like, is he looking in a mirror?
Well, because even when Beth's Beyond Betrothed came in, at some point he basically said that. He's like, wait, is that the same guy?
Yeah.
Like, no. That's
They're
good job, editors.
Like, it seems like someone could have had darker or significantly lighter hair
or skin
like
even.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. It's a lot of white men in this movie.
So many.
Like all white men.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the I bet a lot of the Uruk-hai were Maori,
Oh.
but that doesn't count because they're under like 8 tons of prosthetics.
Yeah.
And they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But also good for Peter Jackson for keeping everyone at home employed for those 3 years or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
He could have gone to Los Angeles, city of sin.
Who can afford that?
I do think like it would be fun. I was thinking about playing one of those parts, and I think it would be fun because it was just like a beautiful place, and then you just kind of run around in a costume with your friends.
Right?
Yeah.
I forgot to look. Is this the one that, what's his name? Is it? God damn it.
What?
Brit?
Brit? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, does he have a
from?
What is he?
He'd have to be,
show?
wouldn't he?
From
Because
Jamaica,
Flight of Condors.
Flight of Conchords.
Because there aren't
Brett's in one of them
aren't
as
there-
just a random elf.
Yeah, but he has like a specific. They've like the fandom like gave him a name because it's like an acronym of the line he has or something like that, right?
Oh, is it something? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very funny because once you know who he is, you're just like, oh, there's Brett with elf ears and like a little tunic.
Yeah.
Beat. Yeah, I don't know if it was in this one.
Oh, well.
Man, we are all over the place.
We're all over the map.
Did we cover all those names?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
No.
I worked in Axeman the Troll, so we got that.
Good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Four-door.
Oh, four-door.
Four-door. Yeah.
Four-door.
That's
Close enough.
Frodo.
Yeah.
Frodo.
I think it's an anagram.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't want to think too hard about it.
Yeah, there's an extra R.
Uncle Bilby.
Uncle Bilby, which also became Uncle Binky.
Yeah.
That might have been me. That might have been my interpretation.
Bilbo
of it.
Baggins. Ian Holmes is also incredible.
Crushes it.
Mm-hmm.
Talk
Just
about
like his mostly affable, and then when he's got like a ring sickness, he turns into a monster. Like there's a little bit of CGI there, but also his acting is great.
Right after he turns into a monster, where he's just like crushed.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I'm so sorry for everything I put on you. Like now that he realized what a horror show that ring is. Oh,
Yeah.
incredible. Also, I really
Holm, was it singular? Ian Holm?
Ian Holm, yeah.
Okay.
I really enjoy how the first thing you learn about him essentially is that he hates his relatives in the movie. It's like he's friends with Gandalf and he hates his relatives and he's always pretending he's not home.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks Frodo's cool, but basically everybody else is trying to steal his buddy.
Yeah. Oh, man. Here's a question I have. Like, I understand that maybe it's like, Sauron is rising again. And so, like, maybe that's why when Frodo puts on the ring, it's like spooky smoke vision and like everything's just like really loud and ghostly. But I kind of like to believe that it's always been like that. And Bilbo is just like cool with it.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine him? Like, I would have just loved when he disappears at his own birthday party to just like cut into like ring vision and he's just like happily marching to his house while there's just like this terrifying blue hued, like shattered reality around him. The sounds of the Nazgul shrinking in the distance. And he's just like, time to go on an adventure.
What a fun prank.
I mean, he doesn't know. He's like, that's just what magic rings do, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was something extra creepy about when Frodo gets stabbed from the white, because you think like this is the imaginary world or this is like the negative, like the film negative version.
Right.
And then, but the swords are still real.
Yeah, dude.
That's like has some real like dreams that turn out to be real kind of
Total.
like.
That whole sequence is like genuinely like spooky. Anytime the ring rates.
Yeah, when the Shadow Riders come on top of that lookout tower or whatever, and then he puts the ring on and they turn, you can like see
weird
their
ghost
faces
man.
again.
Yeah, and then he like comes with his creepy fingers and tries to get the ring.
Yeah.
And then I like that because like I like how that is sort of like where even though they look like men at that point, like it does kind of like just the way they acted it, like you can tell they're sort of like just kind of like weird wild animals because like Frodo just like pulls the ring away and then it's just like and it kind of backs up and then stabs him. Like it just feels very much just like an animal who's just like, well, fine, and then just like stings you.
Yeah. And then that's the scene where Aragorn comes out and whoops ass, and we find out the ring wraiths are very flammable.
Yes.
Like he just like touches them with a little bit of torch and they burst into full ass flames.
Yeah.
And then he has one of then that's where Aragorn has the first of what I learned was many moments in the movie where like someone just like throws something cool.
Yeah.
Like not like a cool thing, but like in a cool way because he just like whips a torch at one of them and it sticks in its hood and sets it on fire. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's so good.
I appreciate how many times this movie, a character is just like dual wielding, right?
Yeah.
Like Aragorn's got his sword and torch. Saruman wins by stealing Gandalf's magic stick and like spinning him around like a disco dancer or whatever, a break dancer.
Yeah. Legolas has got his two long knives.
Yep. At one point shoots 2 arrows at once.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's badass.
So hot.
Yeah. Orlando Bloom is still kind of like,
He's fine.
He's fine. He's got very good skin.
Yes.
But his acting is
cute.
okay.
Great skin.
He's cute. I just feel like compared to all these other
Yeah.
It doesn't help that
classically trained actors who are bringing it hard.
And he's probably like 19 or something when this movie came out. Who knows?
He's pretty emotionless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate
maybe
it.
an elf thing. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Kinda, right? They are all kind of like that. Well, except for
Elrond's full of disgust.
Piss and vinegar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's the elf.
Who?
Got it.
Sorry,
Never
Dudley
mind.
Elfin.
Yes. Orlando Bloom's role of Dudley Elfin.
Oh, okay. I see now.
Love how much of his, like, besides like the battle scenes, I love how much of Legolas's role in this movie is to take a cool stance and declare what's happening.
Yeah.
Like every few minutes, he just like looks, he like hears something, just like birds coming from Galadriel, and then it's like orcs.
Yeah, he's like a hunting dog almost. He's like a setter.
Yeah, except instead of pointing, he can actually just say it out loud.
Yeah.
Right. But that's like. That happens a lot in this movie, where it'll just suddenly cut to Legolas. He'll just like declare what's about to happen to them. I don't know. It's fun. Beautiful skin, though.
Yeah, really good skin.
Yeah.
Him and Liv Tyler both just
elves, man.
The lighting on them
cream.
was like, yeah.
Good job, makeup, hair and makeup.
Good job, cinematographers and the lighting crew. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then the mayor and sales elf the Hobbit.
The mayor.
I think the Dig Dog twins, or you said maybe the guy in the Hobbit in the top hat who is
That's
just
maybe
there.
who you thought was the mayor.
Yeah, he just gets killed by a shadow rider.
So many just fun little doofuses of men get fucked up by those ring
poor
rays.
gatekeeper
Oh, I
at the
love the
end.
gatekeeper character so much. I love when he's just like, 4 hobbits? What are you doing? What's your business here? And Frodo's just like, we mean to go to a business, and he's just like, all right, it's just my business. Like he's just immediately
doing my job by asking. Fine,
I
sure.
know. I love.
Supposed to ask.
I love how
you.
he's so insecure. He's just like, that's just my job. God.
Yeah,
I love that
just
guy.
like Frodo came at it with confidence and he crumbled.
Yeah.
But it was like plenty to really to like make me feel crushed when he literally gets crushed by those evil horses.
Yes, you fall in love with him immediately, and then you're like,
no, not that guy.
My only hope is that it's like muddy enough that he kind of.
Oh, sure, maybe he just like breaks an arm or something.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, we didn't see the part where like he just pushes the door up and he's like, "Hey."
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I was just trying to do my job.
Moth Orb comes in and is like, oh, I got a delivery.
I got some
spring rolls
ramen
here for the Prancing Pony.
And he just opens the little door.
Oh,
It's like a Buster Keaton bit.
Yeah.
I have to say, I am really proud that we hit on the moth orb thing because I had forgotten it was a moth that Gandalf talks to.
Yes.
That's why you named it the Moth Orb.
Is that why I did it?
Yeah. Because Dan said butterfly, and then I admonished him.
Yeah, you cut me down.
And then you said Mothor.
Yeah. Is that magic that Gandalf does? I guess talking to a moth and getting. We presume that the moth tells the eagle to come,
Yes.
right? That's what we're led to believe.
I think in the book it's like made pretty clear.
Yeah.
That he's just like, oh, a moth came
Because
to
the moth
me,
flies
and
by.
Yeah.
That's how he knows the eagle's on its way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that's magic.
It's a big eagle.
I feel like that's a lot of Gandalf's deal, is he's just like very in tune with the natural world.
Yeah.
And so like he's friends to all the creatures and blah, blah, blah.
But even when he does like, thou shalt not pass in front of Big Red,
Yeah.
the Balrog.
Big Red.
I guess he makes the bridge fall down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's just like a little light flash, and it seems like it almost seems like the Balrog's just like heavy and breaks the bridge on its own.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, he does big magic.
I
He's-
mean,
okay,
you know, the when he gets into a wizard fight with Saruman, like it's sort of established there that like there isn't really much visual language to magic in this movie. You know what I mean? Like it is very much just like a concept. Because like anytime they do anything, they just like swing their stick and the other one goes, oh, and like flies back. There's no like.
By the way, one of my favorite visuals in this movie is when he is spinning him around in the room and he's like just kind of like on his
in
head.
the most uncomfortable
tilted.
position.
I'm like, that.
So cool.
There's something about it that just makes it look so like he's like so contorted in a way.
Unnatural.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
Wow.
Very good.
And I fell for it again this time when at that scene with the Big Red.
Yeah.
And Gandalf is just standing on the ledge and Big Red is falling and you think for a second, cool, we're done. And then that lasso comes up and grabs
fire
him.
whip thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
fire whip. Really upset me again. And I already knew it happened, but I'd forgotten.
Yeah.
I feel like we touched on in the first half. We weren't sure how well the CGI would hold up with the spooky creatures.
I thought it was
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2001.
Pretty good.
Troll looked pretty good. Balrog looked pretty good.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about watching this movie with you all is that Dan would just whisper lines.
Yes, you
before
would. Yes, you would.
Yeah.
Fly, you
Twice. That's good.
It's a great moment. Memes, baby.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, for as much as some of these lines have been, used a ton, one does not simply walk into Gondor or fly you, all that stuff. Yeah. Like, it still didn't hit my ear as corny.
It's very effective.
Thou shalt not pass is like, people just like say that all the time.
Yeah, but when Ian McKellen says it.
Yeah. He delivers it and you're like, I shivers. I got shivers. So I'm not going to pass. That's for sure.
I'm going to go back home.
Okay, bye.
Yikes.
How many teachers do you think used that line?
During like
when someone's like, "This is going to be on the quiz. Thou shalt not pass."
Oh, that's mean, Molly.
I was thinking if you asked for a bathroom
I thought you just meant like when they were like between classes or something. Like,
wow.
And someone was running down the hall and some nerdy teacher's like, "You shall not," and they have their yardstick.
Speaking of memorable lines,
please.
I did do a search, as I mentioned in the first half, that I would of all of the women speaking strung together. I was unable to find the supercut of that, but I will keep looking. But I did find a supercut of every moment in the trilogy where two women speak to each other.
Love it.
It was a 43-second video, but it was all intro because it's just a little girl saying, "Where's my mommy?" And then the adult goes, "Shh." And that's it. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised that.
So hard fail.
Yeah, pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I don't even think they're named characters.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I will try to find that supercut. And if it doesn't exist, maybe I'll just make one.
Wow.
Nice.
It'll be of poor quality.
Well, because there's like, what's her name in the later movies? There's definitely like an important woman in the later movies who's like somebody's daughter, and she she like goes.
She's important. She's somebody's daughter,
a wife or a mother.
Because there's that whole thing.
Nurse.
There's that whole thing where the bad horse rider is like, "No man shall destroy me," and she's like, "I am no man." Cha cha.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Come on.
Vaguely. I remember that.
We gotta watch
she's
the other
awesome.
ones now. I'm jazzed up.
I mean, we can watch them on our own and not record a podcast about it.
Try and get my son to watch it, maybe.
There you go. Maybe just skip to the second one because it's all orcs.
Maybe.
Or just skip to the good part of the first one.
How
the whole
dare
movie?
You? You mean skip like the FBI warning to not copy it at the beginning?
All right. Well, before we get to our final reviews of the movie we just watched, we like to turn to Discord.
What is that movie?
The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Thank you.
We like to turn to Discord, our text.
Discord.
We like to walk into one does not simply log on to Discord.
No, first go to patreon.com/Totes.
Maybe there's a setting in Patreon that you put in your Discord user. I put flawless directions up on the website. Already. Just check them out.
Yeah.
One more from Joe Jaquette.
Oh, our EP.
Yay.
Yeah, who asked, how was giving it the Totes treatment to a movie twice as long as the perfect length, or longer if you watch the extended edition? You know what? I was thinking right after the movie, I enjoyed this quite a bit, and I feel like I have watched 100-minute movies that felt longer than this. I was engaged almost the whole time.
Wow.
Honestly, like there were a couple moments where I was like, okay, this is going to be longer. But like by the end of it, I was like, that was 3 hours already?
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked by how engaged I was.
That was not my experience.
I did watch you try and take a nap at one point, Molly.
Yeah.
That's true. She just
do we
did kind of
remember?
tuck in.
Do we remember at what point Molly just like took her glasses off and leaned over?
It was like an hour in.
Yeah. It was definitely a moment. I felt like it was definitely a moment. Yeah, it was. I feel like it was one moment where there was just like a swelling of music, and the fellow was just like walking somewhere, and she's like, "Where are they going?"
It takes like 45 minutes for the fellowship to even form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first you got to get spooked by those ring wraiths, which is like some of the coolest parts of the movie.
Yeah, or like coming in the prancing pony is like, that's so perfect for at the start of every D&D campaign. Like it's such a great tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, it was great. So yeah, I checked it an hour and 20. I thought that like another hour had gone by, and it was 20 minutes. This did not speak to me in quite the same way.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. The reference machine asks, if you were taking the ring to Mordor, who would you want to come with you? Mordor, real or fictional?
Who do you want to come with?
Yeah.
You? Oh.
Who's your Samwise Gamgee?
Oh.
You kind of need like Forrest Gump to do it, right?
How so?
Because Forrest Gump went through a bunch of pivotal stuff and was totally unaffected by it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And so I feel like he'd be a good Frodo stand-in, right? Because he's not gonna get ambitious.
But you're the one carrying the ring to Mordor.
Oh no, I don't want him with me. He's not gonna help at all.
Wow. Yeah, you need someone it can really help you out emotionally.
Like someone who's good with directions.
Oh,
I would need someone who's very good at directions.
Yeah.
I would get lost. I mean, I know I'm going to a volcano, so it's you're probably going to see it a lot of the time.
Not for a while though.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's also all those other mountains they have to go over first.
Okay.
I'm also gonna need someone who's very good at catching or gathering and cooking food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like you need a Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah.
Who's that guy that does the choose your own adventure survival show?
Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
You need a bear.
Yeah, I think so. He seems pretty cheery and he knows what to do out in the wilds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Jean-Luc
Like
Picard.
a
Steve Irwin.
Like a pilot?
Pilot? Sure.
Somebody could fly a plane and be like
he would have
everyone's
his plane
What's
with him?
that?
Oh, a giant eagle trainer who could just
an
pick
eagle?
you up
Yeah.
and just drop you off.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens in the end, right? Just an eagle comes along and carries him up.
Well, they've already done everything good, and now they're assuming they're going to die.
I know, but I'm just
Then
why
the
couldn't he do
eagles
it at the
come.
beginning?
Because, Molly, ask the internet from 20 years ago, because they had this exact same argument. I'm sure there's a YouTube video that's insufferable talking about it.
Yeah. There's only one of those eagles.
No, there's more.
Okay.
Well, I would take an eagle trainer. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, first of all, the glorious eagles of Middle-earth cannot be trained. They are a majestic, sentient race that is well above us meek men.
No, she means the eagle is a trainer.
Oh.
Like a
Like it's
physical
been
trainer.
working out.
The eagle's going to get you swole to get up that mountain. Oh, that makes perfect
Yeah,
sense.
thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm sorry. I misinterpreted.
Yeah. Awesome. Carzon asks, if all the hobbits were stuck in a Breakfast Club situation, which one is Sean Astin?
Oh, the jock.
You think Sean Astin's the jock?
Oh, or maybe
Which
he's
one's Sean
Anthony Michael Hall.
I think Samwise would be like Anthony Michael Hall, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand the question.
The geek, the jock, the princess.
Oh, okay. Which archetype?
Which archetype? High school archetype.
Okay. Oh, God. I think
You
he's
can't
the
say cowboy because it has to be
it.
Breakfast Club world.
Cowboy Breakfast Club. I think he's the nerd.
He's not Ali Sheedy.
No, I feel like maybe Boromir's Ali Sheedy.
Yeah. Can we map everybody in the Fellowship?
I mean, it's there aren't 9 people in the Breakfast Club.
Oh, sure. Who do we get? Boromir's feels like or is he the burnout guy?
Oh.
Burnout Amir.
That seems right.
Yeah. Legolas with his good skins. What's her name?
What?
Molly Ringwald?
Yeah.
The princess. Yeah.
I mean, Gimli is way more like Molly Ringwald.
Because he got red hair?
No, because he's just very snippy and has strong opinions about other people. It's just like, how dare you? No one throws a dwarf. I can't believe I'm with an elf. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, sure.
He's got to learn some tolerance.
He would order sushi.
Exactly.
Okay, sure.
Like, oh, let's go to my cousin's mine. It'll be so cool. We'll get we'll get a great feast and beer instead of this dumb mountain.
Yeah.
My
Maybe
cousin
Boromir is the jock because he's got daddy issues.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Gandalf the put upon vice principal who hates all of them by the end?
Yeah.
He
I
might
feel
be
like
the
Elrond's
custodian.
the vice principal.
Elrond is definitely the vice principal because there's that amazing moment where he's kind of amused that Sam was eavesdropping on the meeting, but then when the other 2 hobbits pop up, he seems like genuinely pissed. He's like, "Where did they come from?"
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Elrond is definitely the vice principal.
Mm-hmm.
Did we catch everybody in the Breakfast Club? I mean,
We didn't do Ali Sheedy,
who's
right?
Ali Sheedy then?
Oh, I thought we said somebody was Ali Sheedy, but then we made them.
I took a stab at it, but I agree that it was incorrect. Maybe the Ding Dong twins are Ali Sheedy.
Maybe.
Because she's kind of goofy and weird, but by the end she has depth.
Oh,
right?
That's true. She does that
I
dandruff
was like,
thing.
spoiler alert for the other 2 movies. Shit gets real for the Ding Dong twins.
She also eats something.
Oh, she puts the pixie stick sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ding Dong Twins would definitely make a pixie. There's definitely would be a moment where like Mary would come back from the bar at the Prancing Pony and be like, "What's that?" It's a pixie stick sandwich.
Yeah.
They have pixie stick sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the Ding Dong Twins are collectively Ali Sheedy.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we got it.
All right, sure.
And then Viggo Vortex is just, steaming himself in the sauna waiting for death
Some
to
Russian
come.
mafia members.
Yeah. From the Breakfast Club.
Yeah. Right. Sean asked it was a specific axe. I don't know who we put him on.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah,
Okay.
Anthony Michael
I feel
Hall.
good about
We did that right away.
All right. My last name's a palindrome. Asked, did you start recording earlier to count for the 2 hour and 58 minute runtime? Yes.
Yeah,
we did.
2 hours earlier.
Yeah, we
Yep.
did. It's not even close to Molly Midnight.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
I looked up and she was like,
I could sleep.
I don't know.
My last name's a palindrome. Goes on to ask, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring came out when I was in 7th grade, and it made me realize how much work it takes to make a film. Thanks to the DVD's voluminous behind-the-scenes features.
Indeed.
Have you seen any bonus features in any movie that changed how you watched movies moving forward?
Oh.
I am not a big bonus feature watcher.
I watched the bonus feature video for Garden State,
Okay.
and it made me dislike the movie more.
Wow.
Because it was Natalie Portman and what's the guy, Zach Braff?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're just flirting the entire time, or at least he's like desperately flirting with her.
Mm.
'Cause I think they dated for a hot minute after this movie, and I just couldn't stand it. It irritated me, and
So did that change how you felt about how movies are made?
it made me change how I felt about how some movies are made.
Yeah.
Because he was just so like, I was trying to impress you. And I was like, I don't need to hear this. It was like overhearing your friends bicker.
Yeah.
Like in their relationship.
Sure.
It was too much.
I was trying to think of something that wasn't from these movies, and I think I watched like a featurette on the original Star Wars trilogy that was just talking about all the like Muppets and the miniatures and stuff, and that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because like it has like enough behind the scenes footage where it's like you see like the C-3PO guy like half in his C-3, you know what I mean? Like he's like half in the costume, so you're just like, oh god, that looks so uncomfortable.
I will say this: every time I've seen a deleted scene, I have thought at the end of it, yes, that should have been deleted.
Good
right?
choice.
Never once have I seen one and thought, oh, you could have left that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is hard.
Well,
it's hard to make
check
those
out the
choices.
extended edition of this movie and see 30 minutes of deleted scenes.
I do feel like I want to give a real answer.
Okay.
So one thing that did change the way I thought about how movies were made was a talk by Ron Howard and how he felt very strongly that the writer should be in the edit stage because so much of the crafting of the story happens in the edit and there can be such a disconnect.
Yes.
And like, I thought that was really interesting because I think for the most part, once a movie starts getting made, everyone is like, why is the writer here? Like,
Right.
get them out.
Dumb. How dare
and
they?
for him to like welcome them in and consider them part of the whole.
That's
I
great.
thought was very cool.
Oh, I thought of another one. There's this great behind the scenes thing from Fury Road where they're flipping the war rig at the end. Spoiler alert, I guess. The big truck flips over.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah. But like, it's Fury Road, which means they did it. Right.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
right.
They flipped the fucking giant truck. And there's this shot, there's like the footage of the director, George Miller, like in the, the screen house where they're just like off somewhere just watching the footage. And like they had a dummy of Nicholas Hoult, the actor who's playing the character who's driving the truck. Like they had a dummy for him in the driver's seat. And then the stunt guy was just like in some crazy, like lowered chamber. I realize I'm getting away from the microphone. Like lowered chamber under the actual seats, actually driving the truck to flip it. Because I had to actually like drive it forward to get the shot, right? And then they probably had like some pneumatics from that actually flipped the truck. But George Miller either forgot or was just like so into it that like he just thought he was just like that was his guy driving. And so when it flipped, he like saw the dummy's head just like smash into the ground and like scrape along the ground as the whole truck flipped over.
Yeah.
So like it cuts to him and like you can see this moment where he's just like so like thrilled they got the shot, but also like quietly freaking out for a second.
Yeah.
And he's just like, we got it. Okay. Is he he's all right. You know, like he's just like you can just tell like he needs someone to like reassure him, and then like finally someone's like, no, he's under the. And he's like, oh, okay. And then they cut to them like going out to the actual site where they're like pulling the stunt guy out of the truck, and there's just this thing where you can just there are like so many layers to George Miller like coming to talk to the stuntman, where it's like part of it is just like that ruled. We got the shot. You're so good at this, and also thank God you're alive.
Yeah. That reminds me, I did watch a behind the scenes featurette from Furious 7, whichever one they jump, but from one tower and then to another tower. Yes. Maybe the best one, honestly. But it made me realize, like, they have like the car on a thing that shoots it out, and someone has to jump out last minute. Yeah. But I think it made me realize how many like cars they just destroy.
Yes.
Like they're just like, we have a bunch of these nice cars and we're gonna wreck them all.
Yeah.
And like we got to do it a couple times.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's expensive. It's like tens of thousands of dollars per car. And
it's insane.
It's like just part of their budget.
Yeah. Anytime you see a car get destroyed, and it's very clear, you know, some of it's obviously CG.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you just see a car just like crush itself into something, you're just like, oh well, they just spent however much on that car.
Yeah.
I think it's
or
that
at least
same
the outer chassis of, you know, like the exterior of the car.
I think it's that same Fast and Furious movie where I saw a clip of someone was like, so this is happening outside of my apartment today. And it's the scene where they have God's eye or whatever, and it takes control of all of the driverless cars. Yeah. And it's like in a second story, and then they all drive out and fall. Yeah. They actually shot that. Those are just cars falling out of a building.
Wow.
And there's like 40 cars or something.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wild. And before we leave this topic, there's just one more thing I want to say. I got obsessed with every aspect of Barbie.
Yes.
Like how it was made, everything, movie. Every decision that Greta Gerwig made. And I had to eventually stop watching because I got so jealous.
Like how much fun they were having?
How much fun they were having, and like how much she loved this project and how much she loved her cast. And I was just like, I can't watch this anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Anyway, so hats off.
Just like us.
Just exactly like us. Yeah.
So basically what we're learning is the thing that makes you think about the magic of movie making is people like just blowing thousands of dollars on cars and genuine human friendship.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Yep. Those two things. Yep.
And miniatures.
All right. We have a bit of a conversation among adults' heads.
This is just a series of C's, but not directed at us?
It starts with a Q, and then there's responses, and then we can respond after.
Great.
Okay.
My last name's a palindrome asks, was anyone upset that Tom Bombadil did not make it into this movie? Tetsuka responds, yes, the Tom Bomba debate. Fra responds, I would have liked to see him, but completely get why he wasn't included. He's a side character that doesn't contribute to the overall story. It would have been a lot of time just to give some fan service. Same reason they skipped the hobbits living with the ring for decades and instead had them leave right away. My last name is a palindrome responds again. Oh, absolutely. He's my favorite type of a character, and transporting him into the narrative-driven movie would have killed any stakes set by the rapid departure of the Shire. I do not know who Tom Bombadil is.
I do. Does anyone else know?
No.
Okay, I agree that it is the correct. This was one of those things, Molly, where if you had seen the deleted scene of this, you'd be like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
Tom Bombadil is some sort of like magical man of the forest who speaks almost entirely in song. And I think they like stay in his like magic shed for one night. And there's like some implication that he like maybe like is the earth or something. Like he's some sort of like more powerful figure than like the doofy song man you'd think he is. Yeah. And he's like, I think another one of the, one of the things that like could, if they were to take the ring, they would be corrupted and it would destroy Middle Earth in a different way. But like he speaks almost entirely in song.
Okay.
Like there are, if you open the page of the books that he's in, it is seriously just like, the margins suddenly get very wide. And there's just like a long column of italic text as he's like doing a jig down the woods going, hey, ho, la, la, or whatever,
I would never read that.
Well,
I would see that there's a poem or a song and just skip.
Yeah. And if that was in the movie, you would have left. Like, I'm pretty sure you would have just walked out if that was in the movie.
Yeah.
Because at that point, think of it like, think of the way this movie is. Think if it was exactly the same, except they added singing Magic Forest Man, right? Like all the hobbits have gotten together. They're terrified of like the bad horse, evil riding demon bug knights. And then suddenly some just like dude played by like probably a beloved British character just like comes out of the woods like, hey, ho, da-dee, ho, da-dee, ho, da-dee.
Yeah, that's kind of like one of the ways the Hobbit trilogy suffered, which I only got through maybe 2 movies. I was very disappointed. Like they spent a lot of time with just like all the dwarves singing in Bilbo's house. Yeah, it was like 20 minutes.
Sounds like Snow White with all that care to the song about cleaning.
But then it's 3 movies, like 3 multiple-hour movies instead of
I
like
bet there's a great movie in there somewhere between the 3 of them, right?
Yeah, it was a bummer. I didn't even watch the 3rd one.
I never watched any of them.
Yeah. Also, here's one of my opinions about fantasy movies. I don't like it when characters have normal names like Tom or Sam, and then everybody else has got like a weird fantasy name.
His name is Samwise.
Oh, I know, but they call him Sam all the time.
Sure.
It's the same in Dune. What's that guy's name?
Oh, Duncan, Idaho.
Oh, that name rules. Yeah. No, the Kwisatz Haderach. He's got some normal.
Paul?
Paul. Yeah, his name's fucking Paul. Just Paul.
Dan.
But then it's like
these are millennia of Earthlings who have gathered across the universe, and some pieces of culture have survived.
Sure, just
the name Paul.
The name Paul and Duncan, Idaho. No, when the movies came out, like people who hadn't read the books were obsessed with the concept of Duncan, Idaho, because everyone else's name was like, just like this insane, like Gurney Halleck, Master of Arms, and then Duncan.
Ben Miss asked, does watching the movie make you want to hike in New Zealand? Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
We were wondering how we could get patrons to pay for us to go to New Zealand.
There was talk of it.
Yeah.
Like maybe not wherever they shot, like Saruman is giving like hitting them with like the song of Death Blizzard.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know if I'd want to go up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
or like that river, the fjord.
So cool.
The forest, all of it.
I remember specifically as a teenager or young, I don't remember when these came out, but like when the second one came out, I remember specifically a moment sitting in the theater and there's just like some sweeping shot of them walking around and me literally just like shaking my head going like, God damn.
Yeah. All right.
Visit New Zealand.
New Zealand. It's me, isn't it?
Hey, Tom Bombadil.
I feel like one of the ways that we can go to New Zealand
is not doing that accent ever again.
And instead, maybe people from New Zealand will be like, "Oh, come here and do a live show." No,
we're never.
It's getting further and further away. Every single word you say out loud.
Trickle in Auckland live.
Let's
go to Hobbiton.
Lovely.
Vegamus.
What's so funny is like it's not that weird of an accent, but every time you and I get into this like recursive feedback loop, it mutates into something wild.
Legolas, shoot some arrows.
God.
Orlando Bloom.
Oh
all right.
Wow.
Boodle Horse asks, what are your general opinion on rings?
Oh.
Follow up, preferred potato preparation.
Ooh.
It's a little indication of Boodle Horse's opinion on onion rings, which I love onion rings.
Oh, yeah.
Also a spoiler for the second movie, I think.
They eat onion rings?
No, there's a
Lord of the Onion Rings.
They go to Applebee's.
No, there's a thing where Sam is like, he's talking about potatoes for like a while.
Oh, no.
Not a while, like 40 seconds maybe.
Yeah. That's a while.
Because it's kind of fun. Because like,
is he hungry?
The disgusting Gollum, the pitiful Gollum, is talking about like, I'll just get some raw fish for us to eat or something.
Oh,
and Sam is like, whoa, what about potatoes or something? And then he yells at Gollum because he hates him, but he's like, he explains potatoes to him basically, and then Gollum is like, I'll just get some more disgusting fish or whatever.
Yeah. Potatoes are good.
Is that your opinion?
Well, we're getting there. We got to talk about rings first.
Right. Sorry.
I mean, I wear a wedding ring. No big deal.
Wow.
To connect me to my wife.
Lovely.
Other than that, I mean, I don't have strong feelings about rings. I have nothing to say.
Great.
It's fun. Sorry.
Okay.
Wow.
Moving on.
I mean, other people can speak on rings.
I mean, I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but I do. Yeah, I wear a wedding ring. I like it. I like having a little bit of a sparkle on my hand.
When I was growing up, we bought rings all the time, and we put them on different, like I was probably wearing like at least 3 or 4 rings at any given time. That was just like a thing to do. And to this day, if I am like just checking out at any kind of clothing store or anything, and they've put rings by the checkout, it doesn't matter how ugly they are, whether they're like made for children, like what the deal is, I just can't help it. I just have to try them on. Sure. There's like such a precious. There's a compulsion there. And actually, it's one of my favorite rings I got on vacation. It was so cool. It was one of the best rings ever. And then once you lose it, it's like, I don't know, I guess it found somebody else.
That is a good segue to my feelings about rings, because I also wear a wedding ring, no big deal. And the wedding ring I got is like, we specifically try to find like what is a very reasonably priced wedding band for me, because both my wife and I assumed I would lose it almost immediately. I have not lost it.
Hey, congrats.
For 14 years now. And so a part of me is just like, oh, well, if I could have gotten something cooler. And sometimes I'll see other people's weddings. I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's a lot of fun.
You can do that. You could do that for your 15th anniversary.
Yeah.
That's true. And I also sometimes just think about like, that is kind of fun. And then I'm like, am I the kind of guy who could pull off wearing not a wedding ring? And I don't know if I am. You know what I mean?
Wait, you mean a ring that's not like a traditional wedding ring?
I just mean like a ring that is like not a ring on this finger.
Oh, wow.
Oh, another ring.
Like other jewelry.
Should we all get like Totes rings?
And like, and it's one of those things where it's like, because it's a fine line. Yes, that's cool.
Okay, I put my hand in the middle like you're doing.
Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Because there's a fine line of like, I'm not trying to be like a stereotypical like Italian American uncle wearing like giant pinky rings. And I'm not like, I feel like I'd have to get into like silk scarves if I wanted to wear like a bunch of rings.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just think it'd be fun to like, because I don't wear glasses. Like I don't have any necessary accessories like some people do, where they can like at least decide like what I want my necessary accessory to look like. So sometimes I'm like, I could maybe have more fun accessories.
I recommend going to a clothing store.
I'm listening.
And just at the checkout, just try on some stuff.
Yeah.
Get your high school class ring.
One problem is that I also have gigantic Sasquatch hands. And so many rings that I might see at a cash register probably would not fit on my hand.
I guess I do like, when you turn in tickets for prizes.
Yeah.
But if you got 5 left, I'll get a spider ring.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll wear that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, one time I went to a mini golf place and I had some coins or whatever, and it was about to close. And so I was like, I'll just do this machine where you like put a coin in and you press a button, and I won the jackpot. So I got like, it was like 1,000 tickets or something like that. And so when I went up to the counter, I was like trying to figure out what I wanted. I'm a full grown adult at this point. This was recently actually. And I went up to the counter and I just told the kid at the counter that I wanted all spider rings. And he looked at me like so mad. And I was like, I'm just kidding. And I can't remember what I definitely got some Dracula teeth.
Nice.
Ooh, but I just, the look on his face when I said I just wanted spider rings.
Poor kid. That's good though.
You made him.
It's like, I want to go home.
You made him feel like he was lost in the mines of Moria with a bunch of morons.
Yeah. Yep.
That's good.
Oh, that is really good. What was the other question?
Favorite potato preparation.
Ooh.
God, potatoes are good. You can do all sorts of stuff with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a potato dish recently where it was like layered, like an au gratin, but then they fried it.
Just the 15-hour potato?
I don't know, but it was like
a little cube?
Yeah.
15-hour potato.
It was great.
Wow.
I see it on Instagram all the time, like, that looks amazing, but I have to try, right?
Yeah, and I mean, mandolin's terrifying.
No, I think it's 15 hours because you prepare it in a certain way and get into the shape that Molly's talking about, and then I think you just like let it chill overnight so you can fry it. So that's why it's like a 15-hour.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But it looks delicious.
Yeah. That sounds good. I love just mashed potatoes.
Oh, a good mash.
Ooh,
So
I
good.
like getting a baked potato from a place like Outback Steakhouse.
Okay.
Where they somehow like just smother it in salt and then cook it until it is just like
literally salt bake it, or
I don't know what they do.
Okay.
But it's salty on the outside, and then you just put I go nuts. I do all the toppings.
Oh, sure.
Nice.
And I forget about baked potatoes until I go out to eat. And every time I'm like, I could purchase.
So easy.
Yeah.
Totally.
So easy. And it's not even a hard thing to make.
Yeah. Baked potatoes are like the salads also. It's like it's like, because you get, like, if someone prepares a salad for you, you're like, this is great.
Yeah.
And there's a part of your brain that's like, I could do this.
Yeah.
But there's another part that's like, I am never going to do this. And I feel the same way about like baked potatoes with any sort of like complex topping situation, right?
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of twice baked potatoes.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
bake them, you scoop them out.
Oh, like
some
potato
shit.
skins.
Well, yeah. Well, you like scoop out potato and then you like put it in the food processor
Mash it.
with
Mix it
like
up with-
cheese
yeah,
and
yeah.
broccoli
Yep.
or whatever, and then you put it back in the potato.
Yep.
Put cheese on top and then you bake it
Yeah.
again.
That's good.
Barbecue sauce. I'm still gonna go with hash browns though.
Oh yeah.
Great
Crispy
choice.
ass hash
That's
browns.
true. I do love like a perfectly prepared, perfectly seasoned French fry.
Oh,
Yeah.
French fries
When you
are
get
so
like
good.
an actually like truly good French fry, and not like a chemically designed to like at least make your brain think it's good French fry, like you get at fast food.
But just
It's
like
amazing.
a roasted squares
Yes.
of potato with maybe a little rosemary, salt.
Sure, rosemary's great on
You
potato.
get like a pan of like little red potatoes roasted, with like rosemary and a little bit of oil, salt and pepper.
Oh, may I recommend
Incredible.
potato salad using red potatoes?
I love it.
I love
Incredible.
potato
I've had
salad.
it. I've had red potato salad.
I like German potato salad too.
I want to talk about potato salad.
I made a bunch of potato salad last couple of days.
Now I'm
I
thinking.
have to stop potato talk. I have to stop it.
One of my favorite The State sketches
Oh,
is Michael
Oh,
Showalter
yeah.
being a lawyer, and then he's talking about, I'll make you potato salad. It's just really...
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one where Michael Ian Black is like something on 1,000 pounds of potatoes or whatever.
Oh, that's vanilla pudding.
Oh, I thought it was potatoes.
I don't know.
Okay, done with potato talk.
Yes. Did we answer the question?
I think so.
Great.
I mean,
You're welcome.
I don't know how they got it down to just 40 seconds of Sam Wise talking potatoes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I bet the original cut is like, Sean, just say everything you ever wanted to say about potatoes, but do it angrily because a disgusting goblin man is eating a fish at you.
I tell you, I am making a baked potato bar for tomorrow's dinner, and I
Nice.
want to thank who was it?
Boodle
who was
horse.
Boodle
the
horse. Thank you, Boodle horse.
Blessings
Thank
of
you.
the Boodle horse.
Yeah. Boodle blessings.
Fantastic. Ooh, I like that. Is that our
And
last?
Boodle blessings to you too.
Yes, of course.
Is that it?
That is it.
Oh, what a closer.
Wow.
It's been potato talk. All right. Our rating scale, as we all remember, is Mothorb,
Of course.
which is one word. Mothorb is a creature and a business where you whisper that you want food into a moth's butt.
Yep.
The moth flies to Mothorb.
To your local moth.
To your local Mothorb.
You're lucky.
That's the manager.
Who then tries to find you
Yes.
and give you food.
Yes.
Foraged along the way.
Yes, you can ask
Foraged.
for specific food.
Yeah, but
you'll end up with whatever they
Yeah,
find, right? Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. And I feel like there was one important detail I missed at the end.
Gig economy,
Yes.
boiled moss.
It's usually boiled moss.
It was.
Yeah.
I think it was a gig economy, that people worked for moth orbs. Like it wasn't like
Yes,
there was
but-
just like the one creature. It was like the creature then had employees that
Yes.
would do.
They blend in with the trees.
Yes,
Yes.
and they do get health care. That
Yes.
was what
Oh,
I
yeah.
That's right.
Oh, that's good. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that just reminded me when he first goes to Sourman's place and they're just like sitting up at the top of the tower. And my first thought was like, can you imagine if this was your boss's office?
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's all black. There are scrolls and books everywhere and like half melted candles. It's like there's clearly a sense of foreboding, and it is a mess. I mean,
Yeah.
the dude is a hoarder,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
He's a
More.
Mordorder. Mordorder.
Yes, except for that Palantir, he keeps that polished, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palantir was the orb
Oh, I
that
figured.
he used to
Yeah.
communicate with Sauron.
Like a moth orb.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was like the moth orb,
But
but it was the
for bad.
For bad, yes, moth orb for bad.
That's bad.
But these moth orbs are good.
No health care.
Which is a
when you order-
competitor.
Yeah.
Oh no, the orcs were not getting health care.
No.
There was one that had like a bunch of staples across his face. They're not getting health care. They have to do
No.
that themselves.
Ugh.
And then one goblin gets strangled right after he, presumably does a good job making
Great
an Uruk-hai.
job.
And Saruman's just like, cool. Doesn't care at all that goblin got strangled.
Terrible employer.
Yeah. That's a toxic workplace.
Yeah, it sure is.
All right. Dan, you're first, as we all know.
Yeah.
You predicted a 4. You thought it would be long and corny.
Yeah.
But maybe great.
Yeah. It was long, but I agree with you that I have watched shorter movies that felt longer.
Yeah.
it was corny, but not in a way that I was like, somebody said that, maybe it was you, Molly, where it's just like, there are moments where like, it's still compelling, even if it is sort of like, I don't know. You said it's something about like the meme stuff, right? Where it's like these lines you're aware of 1,000 times, but like it is still very compelling in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I had a great time. I loved it. Great movie. I will bump it up to 5 because I still am pretty confident this is the best one of the 3. And so I feel like if I go watch the other 2, I'll be like, yeah, the first one was better.
Wow.
So I want to set myself up to be correct about that.
Yeah.
If I find that not to be true, I will record a correction that Beth can choose whether or not to release.
We'll never know.
That's true. That is true.
All right, Beth, you were second. You predicted a 4 as well. You did like it when you first saw it, but by the time you got to the end of the trilogy, you didn't like them. So you're hopeful that now you like this one still.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised. I was engaged during the movie. I think it's pretty good. I am very disappointed by how few people who aren't white men are in that movie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that were different. So I can't give it a full 5, but I can give it a 4.5.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep.
It's the half like your delivery just didn't show up or something.
Yeah, you left on your journey.
The Mothorb ate half of it.
Oh, come on.
They get hungry.
Yeah, but
it's a long journey.
I mean, that's 2 stars, right? On the review.
Yeah. I mean, they're actively foraging. They could get some for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's a long voyage. You
Or
get a
just
little
like
hungry.
go into old man whatever's farm and steal a bunch of carrots.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, the Ding Dong Twinks are definitely gigging for Mothorb.
Oh, for sure. And
half
eating
of it.
most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And getting fired almost immediately. But they're going to try.
I tried. All right, I gave it a 4 as well. I was worried it would be too long, mostly. And it was very long, but I loved it.
Great.
You know, I'm going 5.
Nice.
Wow.
My memory is on brand for this podcast, but I can't think of, between these movies and the most recent Dungeons and Dragons movie, a more satisfying like fantasy epic in between. I feel like it's been 20 years.
Which is garbage.
Yeah. And I love this type of movie. I love fantasy shit. So I'm glad, it's not perfect.
Sure.
Because there's too many white men. But like, I'm really glad it exists. And this is such a huge swing. And it did really well.
Yes.
But then, I don't know. I had The Hobbit kind of sucked, but anyway, I loved it. 5.
Great.
Molly, you walked yourself from a 2 up to a 3 because you respect our listeners.
And our executive producer, I assume.
You were concerned about the representation and you don't like walking or fighting.
Which, to be fair, there's a lot of both.
Yeah, for sure.
Some horse riding and some boat.
Some monologuing.
Which is maybe just walking of a different...
The horse riding or the...
Yeah, is horse riding...
Does that count as
No,
walking?
I felt like the horse riding was way more fun and
Sure.
engaging than the walking.
Sure.
Okay.
I will say, I was appreciating the sincerity of this film, especially in the funny moments.
Yes.
Because I feel like I've kind of gotten attuned recently to the Marvel movies with a script that's been punched up by that guy. Can't think of his name right now. You get it.
Yep.
And it's all very kind of cheeky, I guess.
Some
There's
quips.
some quips, some little, I'm beating at the bad guys and saying something clever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just become such a wash.
Totally.
Over the last few years that I just was really happy to have just humor come out of stuff like Gandalf just being irritated.
Yeah.
It was great. And it is, I really...
It's okay, Molly.
I know. I just, I am so tired today, and I feel like, there might not have been a lot of movies that would truly have held my attention, but yeah, this one was rough for me at spots. It just went on and on. There was so much, and then there were so many places that this would be a great place for a blackout. We could call it here. And then it just keeps going. But then it was really redeemed in that last half hour when it became about humans and their connection with each other. 4.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I piggybacking on that. The amount of bro love landed on me much harder than my first watch this.
Same.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I think as a 19-year-old or whatever, it was just like, cool, yeah, action, get the troll, shoot the arrow,
Yeah.
fight, get him, swords, cool, yeah, ring, magic, wizards. And now, still all that.
Yes.
But then it's like, oh, they're just, everyone's good friends and they're helping each other out.
I remember when I was watching these that like I personally appreciated, like you're saying, like the earnestness of all of the characters, but I was uncomfortable like dealing with it.
Yeah.
Especially like with like ideally what I learned in retrospect, like the ideal experience for me of watching this would have been to see it alone with no one I knew, and then I never had to talk to anyone about it. Because like, you know, I was a emotionally frazzled young person with a bunch of like cynical, equally emotionally frazzled teen boys. So it's like, even if like deep in your heart, you're like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Like a part of you's like, oh, fucking whatever. Because you don't want to look vulnerable in front of your bro friends, even though the movie's trying to teach you that true bro friendship is about being vulnerable.
Yeah.
My brother, my captain, my king.
Yeah.
God.
My boys, my boys.
It is the my boys. Lord of the Rings. It totally is.
I will say I have not seen you, Dan, enjoy a movie as much or react so profoundly to a movie since Homeward Bound. And it had similar flavor.
It's been like 2
There's
months.
one movie in between.
Well, still.
I mean, yeah, Homeward Bound still has a heavier emotional arc than Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the
stakes are not as high, but somehow
much higher.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It is kind of the same.
A little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of is.
Yeah, a little
It's
bit.
just walking and fighting.
Absolutely.
Against.
And then every once in a while they like get separated and then reconnect, and everyone's so happy.
There's like a weird old man in the woods that
The
helps
weird
him
old man in
out.
the woods who can talk to birds or whatever.
The grandpa falls into a hole.
Yep, there you go.
Oh,
Shit. Yeah.
just leave me.
Can you imagine how different that scene would have hit if before Gandalf fell like if he just said, just leave me, and then fell into the blackness?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean,
If he had said that, even Strider and Legos would have been like, let's just take a minute.
yeah. I mean, I would absolutely watch a complete dog and cat remake of The Fellowship of the Ring.
No question.
Yeah.
No question.
Oh, that
Can
would
you
be great.
I
imagine?
mean, the elves are cats.
For sure the elves are cats.
Yeah.
No question.
And yeah, I like that. I like that golden retriever vibe.
Yeah.
Get a little bulldog to play Gimli.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
I feel like at this point, the less we say, the better.
Wow. All right.
Oh, no.
Who are you, the editors of the Lord of the Rings franchise? Like, Peter, it's already 3 hours long.
No, it's go back and double the movie with pets.
We've got some great potato talk.
How will they know where they got the brooches if we cut that scene out?
Everybody's going to look at those leaf brooches and be like, where did they come from?
Everyone's
They've all
gonna be like,
got them.
how do they all have matching outfits all of a sudden? I love how we decided that Peter Jackson, famous New Zealander, sounds like, I don't know, like a sitcom character from the 90s.
This is a dumb question. He's from New Zealand?
Isn't he?
I don't
Or
think
Australian.
so.
He's one of the two, isn't he?
Oh, I don't think so.
Damn.
You don't?
No.
I thought he was from New Zealand.
I thought he was from New Zealand too.
What?
But he's friends with Kate Blanchett.
Well, because he's his like Beautiful Creatures movie or whatever.
She's Australian, isn't she?
Naomi
Yes.
Watts and what's her face, who I like, but I never remember her name.
Naomi Watts.
Yeah, the other one.
But the movie where he first worked with Kate Winslet, like where they were
Was
like
in,
teens. They're Australians. Australians.
It's me, Peter Jackson from Biz Beach. Peter Jackson.
I thought he was a New Zealand.
Who's that other lady I like?
I don't know.
She was in that weird Elijah Wood movie.
Oh,
Which
come on.
one?
I am tired of the world and thinking of ending things. Or he's got a rat tail. They like try and get her car back or whatever.
New Zealand.
Or she's also in that creepy
Okay.
soccer girl movie.
Bend it like
What
Beckham.
are you talking about?
I feel like you're just.
What's this
naming
Showtime?
things.
Honeybees or
Oh, Yellow Jackets.
Oh, Jesus.
Honeybees. Come on.
Honeybees?
she's like the older. She's in the future.
Melanie Linsky?
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
got there.
God.
I like her. She's
Totally
good.
worth
She
it.
was the other one in the Beautiful Creatures.
That's
one.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
Ugh.
They're all from Australia except for Peter Jackson.
Who's from
did we
New
figure it
Zealand.
out?
Yes, New Zealand.
You're welcome.
You were too busy trying to think of some actress's name.
Sorry, I care about women.
Yes. She's great.
Yep.
Check out Kate Winslet and Melanie Linsky, who all need a lot of help getting some recognition out in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Check out that weird movie.
Which one? What are you talking
Beautiful
about?
creatures.
It's got a long name. Elijah Wood's got a rat tail. He's her weird neighbor. She gets like her car stolen or something like minor stolen. And they like go on a rampage, like trying to get her shit back.
Oh.
It's called like I Am Done with This World or something. And I'm thinking about ending
No, that's a
everything.
different one. I'm thinking of ending things is a different one.
Oh, it's a different one?
Yeah. Anyway, check out Melanie Linsky's IMDb page.
Yeah. Well, go to TMDB.
All right.
It's not owned by old Dick Rocket.
Wow.
Again, Mackenzie Scott, we have a podcast for you.
Like it's like
I don't
in
think
the
she's going by
chamber ready
Mackenzie
to go.
Scott anymore, though. I
Oh.
think she got married.
Okay.
Oh, really?
She changed
Wow.
her name.
Good for her.
Good for her. Get it, girl.
But you don't have
Yeah.
to change your name again.
Yeah, right?
No, I mean,
But if
Oh,
she
you
wants
can if
to.
you want? Yeah.
the whole point of feminism is you get to do what you want.
Yeah.
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 Is that the whole point?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Molly says it's the whole point.
Okay. Beth?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Wow.
There we go. We've been served.
Yes,
Yeah.
women are a monolith.
What's her name now?
oh, no, I guess she is still Mackenzie Scott.
Nice.
Wow.
Great. Okay, cool.
Get it, girl.
She has a net worth
Woman.
of $36.1 billion.
Jesus.
And she
Christ.
can't sponsor our podcast
Come on.
to make Bezos the Clown Bezos stupid.
Okay, maybe she's like, I don't want to listen. I don't even want to hear about him anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I believe we said we'll do
I have a new
whatever we
proposal.
want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will do an entire podcast about potatoes.
Yes.
Potato cast.
Potato cast.
Love it.
Everybody loves potatoes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Mackenzie
Mackenzie
Scott loves potatoes.
Who doesn't love potatoes?
Yeah.
So,
Tater tots? We didn't even talk about tater
oh
tots.
my
my
gosh,
God.
episode 1, tater tots.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
That'll be the
it.
name of the first episode.
Got some
So
hot
good.
tots.
Every
Episode
Oh
2,
my
let's
gosh.
hash brown it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, see ya, tater.
Let's circle.
That'll be our sign-off.
Hasselback on Potato Talk. This is gold.
We're getting baked. Potato.
That hobbit
Let me
leaf.
get that hot
Yeah, baby. You're welcome, Joe.
Talking taters.
We did it, Joe. Joe DeQuette. I'm talking about Joe DeQuette, our executive producer.
Yeah.
Not that man.
Wait. Podcast over. Potato. Oh,
See ya,
fuck it.
tater.
Yay!
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan DeQuette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.